close to you, too. They're in Avon. They're in New Haven. They're in Glastonbury. And that phone number, one more time, to get that free consultation
and with that,
with
let's bring in Hugh Hewitt, host of the Hugh Hewitt Show and a Fox News
The following is a
contributor.
paid commercial advertisement.
From the Wall Street Sweeper Money Desk, Russ Hackman, president of Hackman Wealth Partners. Russ, why do some advisors push so much risk?
It's a dirty little secret out there that some advisors can get paid more in order to keep your investments in riskier areas, as opposed to moving them to areas where you might get more consistent income over time or have less market exposure. Get a second opinion on that.
For a comprehensive review, no cost, no obligation, 860-321-6800. 860-321-6800. 860-321-6800.
Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Capital Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Discussion of safe and secure products and guaranteed income streams refer only to fixed insurance products and are subject to the claims-paying ability of the insurance company.
The Wall Street Sweeper with Russ Hackman, Sunday mornings at 9:30 on WTIC News Talk 1080.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan.
1 minute.
Pressing leaf-related questions.
Happy Monday.
Buddy,
Happy
Chris
Monday.
here.
Holla,
Understand
holla.
We have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was.
Well, I was.
Chris, what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed?
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that?
Hinton.
.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Hey, shh. Calm down. The show is about to start. Reese on the Radio. Turn it up. Turn it up low. Turn it up loud.
It's like a dream come true.
Turn on your radio. Reese is on the radio.
Yo, let's get it.
Due to the nature of this program, discretion does not exist. It's Reese on the Radio. Right now on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Happy Monday. Holla! How was your weekend? Mine was eventless. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080. A pleasure to be here, folks. I did get some good news. I can't really talk about that on the air. It's against policy. But I did. I looked at some stuff that was sent to me, and it was really, really good stuff. So I'm happy. There was some not so great news in the stuff that I received, but we'll work on that. I'll talk to you about it later, Roland. It kind of involves you too.
Oh shit.
All right, so we'll talk about all of that. Anyway, I have been saying to myself over the weekend, you know, if there's anything I cannot stand, is that people are people don't know what to do with themselves when they don't have a hobby, they don't have like things that are going on in their life, they don't have a lot of friends, so you're kind of stuck in this sort of doldrum. I'm that guy. I am that guy. I realize that about myself, that I have no one to engage with, to have like visits with. Like, not a lot of people invite me to places. That is a little different than in Connecticut, and I understand our circumstances. I know that my dance card is going to be filled once I get there, which is very, very soon. And when I do, I know it's going to be so bad where I'm going to have to tell people, can't really make it. Kind of have something else going on. I'm hoping that I don't offend anyone. But I've realized this. That things aren't always what they seem. They just aren't. And what else I'm realizing is that I have to dig deeper. Now, what does all of this have to do with one another? I'll explain. I think, and I really do truly believe this, that people want to be engaged with one another. I really do think that people want to have hobbies and interests, but they're lost on what to do. Like, what can I get involved with? What can I possibly invest in or give my talents to when I am idle, when I don't have work, when I have a couple of days off? What could I do? Well, folks, I've figured it out, and I'm going to help. I don't know why, but this weekend I was thinking about it. And a couple of my good friends and compadres, they have all said to me, man, wait until you get back. Folks, I think we can start a movement of making everything a little bit better. One small step at a time. Let's no longer leave certain individuals in charge of beautification, of our body politic. Let's not leave those people in charge anymore. Let's do it ourselves. And we can use our idle time to do it. Forget about groups like Indivisible. Forget about groups that are going to be standing on a bridge to, rage against the resist or the regime, or whatever that nonsense is. We'll talk about them. Forget about all of that. I want to start something new, different. It doesn't involve party politics. It doesn't involve, like, I'm a conservative, you're MAGA this, and I'm not. No. You can join up no matter what. And you can join the cause that's important to you, where we can celebrate everything and denounce everything all in the same breath. You see, here's the problem. Here's the problem we've all had. Is that people are always saying, it's like, oh, you're against this, but you're not for that. I aim to remedy that. I want to start a group of people who are fighting against DQAT, right? And in the same breath, fighting for people in Waterbury with lead pipes. We don't have to stick with one thing. We don't have to be, just a group that says, we don't get into that because we're just focused on this. Because what I've realized is there are people who are supposed to be involved in environmental issues that don't even say a word about the DQAT issue. Don't you find it odd? How did you not find that odd? I did. Do you know the largest environmental group in Connecticut that gets hundreds of millions of dollars is a group called Save the Sound? Are you aware of that organization? Probably not. But this political action group for environmental causes has the weight, the gravitas, I would say, influence to stop the use of DQAT in Connecticut waterways, in particular, the Connecticut River. But folks, take a moment. Go on your little devices, be they your cell phones or your laptops or iPads or Samsung pads, whatever they are, and look up if Save the Sound has publicly responded to the concern about the use of DQuat. They have not. They're nowhere to be found. But yet, a small little outfit called the River Alliance, with 3 full-time staffers and a board of about 6 people, that only pulls in a couple of $100,000 in donations, is the leading voice on a situation that involves the entire state. You see, this is the reason why I want to start this new campaign of a bunch of people who involve themselves in everything, because we can't just leave it to the people who are involved in this thing or that thing or this thing, because they choose to get involved when it is important to them, or they don't when it isn't important to them. Some people will get the idea, oh, they must have been paid off. Oh, there must not be any benefit to them. Why should we leave it to them then? We can't get them to speak up when it's important. It should be about every cause. They should be right there on the forefront. But they're not there. Now, this isn't to crap on Save the Sound. I know nothing about them. But this is the biggest story in Connecticut outside of the lead pipe thing. Trust me, that we'll get into that. That's daunting in and of itself. Wow, cannot believe Connecticut, y'all dropped the ball on this one. But not one word? The Connecticut Mirror dropped another piece about DQuat Sunday, which turns out to be a refurbishing of an article it did in the beginning of July. Why is the Connecticut Mirror refurbishing the same article over and over again? Other news outlets, we had to force them a week and a half down the line after all of the protests, after everybody. Why did it take them so long to join suit? We have all of this environmental stuff going on in the state of Connecticut, which, by the way, if I remember correctly, just 2022 and 2023, we had the governor of this great state screaming and hollering about our carbon footprint, about how we needed to be eco-friendly, how we needed to make an EV electric vehicle mandate for the folks who live in the state. We wanted to join the environmental movement. Now we've got DQuat in waterways, lead pipes that's contaminating drinking water. We got environmental groups that are silent. We got an environmental group that is actually advocating for the use of poison in the waterways. What happened in a year, Connecticut? What happened? A lot of things. Connecticut can no longer call itself eco-friendly. Let's just face it, folks. Because they never were. It was politically expedient. There are no conversations about the environment today because the most important person to discuss in Connecticut is Donald J. Trump. All of the moral nonsense that they preached to us when their guy was in power, it was always about you and what you needed to adhere to. Now, nobody's even paying attention to it. And guess what happens when they have all this stuff to focus on? They can sneak in these crazy stories you're learning about the state that you live in. You're reading articles in newspapers where one newspaper article inside that paper says that your waterways are poisonous because of a runoff, sewage. And then another article in the same paper is advocating for the use of DQuat in the waterways. It's like the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing. And if you're confused, it's not your fault, folks, because I don't know if it's by design or it's just reckless behavior. This is the reason why you can't leave it to others anymore. I'm sorry. These folks have become government involved. Dare I say, government corrupt. Everybody's getting a kickback. Everybody's got a financial hold on some of the positions that they have. That means they're without merit. That's the reason why all of us need to be involved. Citizenry makes the difference. And folks, I'm not talking about creating some group where this person has that group, this person has that group. No. I don't want to create another ridiculous organization that's a 501c3. No. I believe wholeheartedly that there is power, I should say, in people. I think that everyone can be involved. And again, it doesn't matter your stripe. If you've got an issue that you want to address, bring it to us and we'll address it. For those of you who care about it, you can join that group and fight hard to get that nonsense put away. But it's got to be good. Let those lunatics who are trying to get, horrible books inside the libraries. No, we don't want no part of that. We want common sense, beneficial policy prescriptions for things that benefit all of us. That understands that our freedoms stop where others begin. And we don't need to call it any particular group. We don't have to hand out cards and pamphlets. We just need to let people know that it exists. And they can all join in. They can have a secret handshake if they want. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. There's a lot of stuff that we can do. I mean, why leave it to them? I'll be honest with you. I woke up this morning sick and tired of reading another story about another group who have said nothing about something in their own wheelhouse. And no one calling them up and saying, hey, what are you doing? Not even the news media going to those groups and saying, hey, we'd love to get a quote from you. Hey, what's your stance on this? I thought you're here to protect the waterways. Why nothing? You're the largest environmental group in the state. What's up? Who's not calling out these organizations? I believe that we should, and I think we have the power to. I think I should compile a list. That's what I should do. We compile a list and say, hey, this organization, why are they not speaking up? This is their thing. This is the stuff that made them who they are. We should get a quote from them. Make them release a press release. Say what they're doing about it. And if nothing, say they have no involvement, but get them on the record. You are owed that, by the way. In case you don't know, you are owed that. These organizations are allowed to just spring up, collect millions of dollars, and just operate. And remember, they say they're doing this on your behalf, but yet don't answer to you. Well, let's change that. Let's create the organization that demands answers from those who have taken it upon themselves to speak for us, just like our elected officials. You prop up some organization. Let's take Black Lives Matter, 860, and NAACP. These folks are running around on your behalf. Well, let's make them accountable. Let's say, hey, where are you? Because look, I've done this before. I've seen it before. How many times have we had the discussion on this very show about why Black Lives Matter or the NAACP or the Urban League or whomever it might be, La Raza, whatever? How come they never talk up on this, that, and the third? Well, let's just stop asking questions to ourselves. Let's ask them. Let's hold them to account, and let's pressure them into responding. Inundate them. Hey, this is happening in this community. Why aren't you speaking up? We demand answers. We demand you come at us with a response. We want a press release. We want something. Hell, hold a press conference. We demand it. I'm done complaining. That's all I'm saying to you folks. I'm done complaining. Aren't you? We already know we can get answers. I've always known that, to be honest with you. But we already know that we can get answers. So let's get them. I want to talk a little bit more about this organization, Save the Sound, and give you some numbers. You'll understand why I'm kind of picking on them, but just want some accountability. Stick around. It's Monday, folks. Got a whole bunch of stuff to get to. Stand by. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC NewsTalk 1080.
Hey, it's Matt Soroyce. If you're like me, you may be feeling sluggish in these dog days of summer. And with it being so hot, you may be lacking a bit of motivation while still hanging on to some unwanted weight. That's where Awaken 180 Weight Loss has helped me the most. The one-on-one coaching you get at Awaken 180 will drive you to feeling your absolute best while giving you the energy that you've always wanted. Awaken 180 Weight Loss is the long-term solution for weight loss, and that's because they give you the tools and knowledge to control your eating while not feeling hungry and all the while still eating delicious food. Awaken 180 Weight Loss has helped over 25,000 people now lose weight for good, and they can help you too. Start today and you can be down 20, maybe even 30 pounds by the time Labor Day rolls around. So don't wait a second more. The team there is waiting for your call. Give them a call right now and make this summer the one where you feel your absolute best. Set up your free consultation today at 844-346-1800. Again, 844-346-1800, or go online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Keep WTIC News Talk 1080 with you all summer long for the information you need. Weather forecasts from Bob Cox help you plan your summertime activities. Taking a trip? Mark Christopher's traffic reports will get you there without the hassle. Plus, up-to-the-minute news reports twice an hour. No matter where you go, listen on the Odyssey app and stay informed with what's going on back in CT. Because when you're on vacation, we're not. WTIC News Talk 1080.
Comcast Business High Five Hotline. What's the state of your excitement?
I signed my business up for the 5-year price lock guarantee, and I can't stop high-fiving people. High five!
Okay, deep breath. You're in a good place. You signed your business up for 5 years of gig speed internet and advanced security, all on our ultra-reliable network.
Gig speeds and advanced security? I'm so stoked.
Yep, and you get it at a great rate that's locked in for 5 years.
Woo!
The high five is just your body's way of saying, I'm winning.
So this is natural.
High-fiving everyone you see in a state of business savings enthusiasm? Totally natural.
Sweet! Thank you! Thank you! High five, everybody! High five!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee is back, but only for a limited time, so sign your business up today.
High five!
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/21/25 for new customers with qualifying bundle. Current customers may be eligible depending on services and area. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
And now, a WTIC news update.
91 degrees at 2:30. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. Heat advisory and the governor's hot weather protocol in effect. High in the low 90s today, going up to the mid 90s actually. Low around 70 tonight. Highs in the mid to upper 90s tomorrow. The mayor of Reno, Nevada, tells the local paper that 2 people are believed to be dead and others in critical condition after a mass shooting at the Grand Sierra Resort. Police say a man is in custody. It happened this morning. The mayor says it could have been much, much worse. The state medical examiner says Plainville firefighter Ray Moreau died of blunt force trauma to the head, neck, torso, and extremities, and rules the death an accident. State police say he was struck by equipment that fell off a truck during a fire response yesterday. Moreau being recognized for his 35 years as a volunteer firefighter by residents like Beth Abramo.
It shows what a human being he was, how kind he was to do that, you know, and to do it for Plainville, and to see his picture down by City Hall. It just brings tears to my eyes.
The audio from WFSB. A public ceremony for Moreau is set for 7 p.m. tomorrow at Plainville High School. He was 60 years old. Speaking in Scotland, President Trump calls on Israel to ensure desperately needed food aid reaches Gaza, even though Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has downplayed the severity of the hunger crisis. Experts say there's no doubt about the devastation. Kate Phillips-Barrasso is with Mercy Corps.
Catastrophic is the right word, with zero exaggeration to describe the situation. I think this is probably one of the most extreme situations that I've worked on in 20 years of humanitarian assistance.
Trump also says he will shorten the 50-day deadline he gave Russian leader Vladimir Putin to reach a deal to end the war in Ukraine. As part of the investigation launched in 2020, the DOJ has shut down a series of dark web child sex abuse websites with 120,000 members.
Big accomplishment for the FBI and the Department of Justice's Criminal Division. These are difficult topics, though. So some of these details will stay in the court filings, but they've shut down 4 very large-scale and sadly very popular dark websites that traded child abuse material.
CBS's Scott McFarland reporting 18 arrests are reported. On Wall Street, the Dow down 126, S&P dropping 9 points, NASDAQ is up 32 points. In your forecast.
A heat advisory remains in effect all the way through Wednesday evening. Heat index values this afternoon between 95 and 100 degrees, then up to 103 over the next couple of afternoons. So for the rest of our Monday afternoon, sun, a few clouds, the high of 94. Mainly clear, warm, and humid tonight, the low only down to 68. Then on our Tuesday, mostly sunny. We're going to break the record set in 1933 with the high up to 98. Wednesday, a very hot day, the high back to 98. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
91 right now. Sports, Colorado football coach Deion Sanders says he will coach this season after surgery for bladder cancer. He says since the procedure, there are no traces of cancer. Red Sox in Minnesota and WTIC pregame at 6:40. Yankees host Tampa Bay, the Mets at San Diego, and the Connecticut Sun hosting Seattle. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker. WTIC 1080 News.
There's more to Connecticut with CT Insider, a hometown behind every headline. With every issue, investigation, or interview, there's more when you're following from the inside. Visit ctinsider.com for more.
Pro Savings Days are back at Lowe's. Right now, get a 4-piece GE kitchen suite for under $2,000. Plus, get a free DeWalt 20-volt Max XR 8-amp-hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt tool. Save big with deals that work as hard as you do. Shop Pro Savings Days in-store or online today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 8/1. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
Big year. I'm starting middle school.
Welcome to the jungle, Missy.
Best part? My parents promised me a new laptop.
Perfect for homework, essays, and drudgery.
So we went to Staples. They had all the latest tech, and laptops were up to 40% off.
Woo! Another back-to-school budget saved by Staples Easy Button.
Mom high-fived the cashier. So embarrassing.
Staples.
That was easy.
In-store, online, and on the app. In Z23, select models only.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
The success you've already had matters at University of Maryland Global Campus because we're a school for real life. An accredited state university, UMGC lets you earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and relevant life and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. We offer affordable tuition and online and hybrid courses. Classes start August 13th. Apply now and save with no application fee. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Hugs from patients like Patrick. It's something QC Kinetics medical professionals experience every day.
I hugged them. You should hug somebody who does that for you. They gave me my life back, and I really didn't know where I was going to go because I was definitely afraid of having a knee replacement done.
No surgery, no downtime with QC Kinetics regenerative treatments. They give patients relief from joint pain using their own healing properties to repair and restore damaged tissue. And the results? Well, that's why we see a lot of hugs at QC Kinetics.
Everything is back that I thought I was never going to be able to do again. I'm still smiling, and sometimes it gets emotional. I get a tear in my eye because of how I was before I went in there.
Those smiles and hugs never get old at QC Kinetics. It means patients are finally getting relief. And now, it's your turn. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation and see if you're a good candidate for these amazing treatments.
Call QC Kinetics, 860-440-PAIN. That's 860-440-PAIN. 860-440-PAIN.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. The IRS just rolled out a new program to help struggling taxpayers more easily resolve their tax problems. It's called the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, and it opens up powerful new options for people looking to get back on the right track with the IRS. And no one knows this program like the professionals at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution company. They've resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients and have the expertise and experience to help you. One easy call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries of wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Make today the beginning of your fresh start with the IRS. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Men, summertime is here. And vacations, summer barbecues, outdoor parties, camping, beaches, and so much more. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health. And if you're like many men, you may not be feeling like yourself this summer. Perhaps your energy is low and you aren't sleeping well. Maybe your workouts aren't as good as they used to be. Maybe even your sex drive is off. And if what I'm describing is you, it's very likely you're suffering with low testosterone. But low T doesn't have to affect you anymore. Just call Northeast Men's Health, get treated, and see how it changes your life. If you're like most men, you'll feel so much better. Deeper sleep, improved vitality and clarity, greater strength and energy, and an improved sex drive as well. So call us. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you, including our new office in Warwick, Rhode Island.
I'm Tom O'Hanlon, and you're listening to Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Oh, man, I love it, Tom. My wife is crazy about that when she heard it on Friday. And thank you, Tom, for that. We're back, as Tom said, Reese on the Radio. Matty O says, I don't think Reese would ever get into politics. I think he has more power where he's at. I don't know about power, but yeah, politics, not my bag. You know what it is? If I can say something on that front, and I would tell you that, and I mentioned him enough, but Mark in West Hartford explains why I could never get into politics. Because if I ever had to compromise my principles because of the importance of legislation or whatever it was, I know I would be called out on that, and I would always feel icky if I had to do that. That's the part of the, they always tell you, politics is about compromise. I got to give it to guys like Massey and Ryan, who rarely go against their principles to vote for something. And again, they get a crap load of hate behind it. But that's, again, where my problem lies, is that I don't ever want to be caught in that sort of greater good position. Politics is about that, and I understand. And we don't always get what we want, but there is a compromise in that politics. It just is. And I know some people who just refuse I guess, the acceptance of going along to get along, and I get them too, right? I guess it's even me as a commentator or a pundit. I get both sides of it. I get the fact that you may have to compromise your principles to get legislation passed, and I understand people who are angry at those who do it. And I just play across that line. I totally understand that. And so people just, it's a difficult place for me to be, and I just refuse to be there. I'm on the website for Save the Sound, which, if you're interested in it, it's savethesound.org. And I'm going over their press releases. And we've been talking about this now for a month, DQuad. So I'm just going to go over their July press releases. July 15th, Save the Sound commends City Council's decisive vote to halt Bally's casino bid. July 16th, Westchester County Save the Sound reach agreement to end decade-long Clean Water Act lawsuit. July 24th, Save the Sound testifies in proposed sale of Aquarion Water Company. June 30th, even, Governor Lamont selects Marissa Gillett as Pure chairperson. So that happened before the conversation about DQuad, and Save the Sound, no press release. None. Why not? It is the premier environmentalist group in Connecticut. So they need to be called, they need to be contacted, and they need to give a statement. Now, I've read a couple of places so far that Save the Sound, without any links to an actual statement, supports the, let's just say, careful use of DQuad. I looked for the quote anywhere where their actual statement was, there is nothing. They made links to other newspapers and news articles that I've already read, but Save the Sound is not quoted in there. I want an official quote from them. And I want to know who they're trusting on this. Because I would imagine a premier environmentalist group has its own scientists that they rely on. Because I would hate the idea that Rivers Alliance is running around without any scientific experts and relying on the government and the government assessment of the volatility of DQuad as an environmental group. You know, because I'm hearing, what's her name, Alicia Shalamat? Her response is, I'm normally against the use of DQuad. I'm normally against the use of herbicides. But they've told us that it's safe and effective. Even though they have to continue testing for 3 years. They told us it was safe. I don't know what environmental group is like. Save the Sound is against fracking, as is Rivers Alliance. They're against the use of fracking. Why? I'm assuming they have some sort of scientific basis to be against it, don't they? I'm sure that they have scientists who support their position, don't they? Or do they just wake up in the morning and they just point at something and go, I'm against that? It sounds bad. So I want to know whether, and I want a statement from them, and I want a statement from them this week. And I'm going to get it. Whether they want to give it or not. Not because they owe it to me, it's because they owe it to you. And I want to know who's the source of said statement. Who have you reviewed? What have you reviewed? Who are the scientists on your staff? You can't just stand for something without giving us some sort of, representation as to why you support it. So we're going to get to it. Speaking of Rivers Alliance, why are there those public filings of how much money that they've been able to receive since 2023? No, sorry, I apologize, 2019. Why are there no financials on them? Rivers Alliance? I did some searching on my own, and it turns out that there are no public records about your bookkeeping since 2019. I believe in 2019, you guys pulled in a couple of $100,000 for your 3 full-time staff members, including Alicia Shalamet, and your 6 board members. I understand that your donations are matched. I do understand that DEEP, Connecticut DEEP, and the EPA actually fund a lot of your activities. We'd like to know what for. I would find it incredibly interesting to know what exactly they're paying for. Why do you get to say or get to have the final say on DQuad? Why are you in all of these articles? I mean, you're a tiny outfit. I mean, we're talking about infinitesimal as an outfit. But yet, according to the news media, Alicia Shalamet is on every one. I mean, she is quoted. She is on camera. She's everywhere. You've got a staff of 3 full-time folks. According to reports, I mean, you're like literally minute. What do you guys operate out of a garage? Somebody's living room? A den? Why are you the authority? And who gave them the authority? I mean, did no one find it odd that these folks were the go-to? They're invited to speak at Dick Blumenthal's event last Monday. Was it last Monday or last Friday? Last Friday. Why were they allowed that? Why were they allowed there? Why was Shalamet given the mic? I mean, she's literally a drop in the bucket. I mean, a drop in the bucket as far as their power, their leadership. A couple of people know about them, but do they really have the final word? Why? I think it's worth asking. Maybe somebody will tell us. Let's go to my good friend Fred Middletown. How are you, sir? Fred? That's okay. He probably stepped away from the phone. But that's all I'm trying to figure out. You got one company, huge, $100 million. Another company, a couple thousand. But yet, everywhere you look, and I'm sure you have, folks, Rivers Alliance is everywhere. And I just don't see it. That's like your local chapter of the Boys and Girls Club. Speaking for the entire state. Sounds weird. All right, let's get Fred back. How are you, Fred?
Hey, sorry about that.
That's okay.
I shut my phone off reaching for it. Just a couple real quick comments. So, one, politics, I believe, defines as the art of compromise.
That's right.
So, yeah, that's not the field you want to toil in. And you wouldn't want to hold office other than maybe some dinky little thing that you could do in a few hours a week, which it's hard to even find that. Even these tiny little local things that can be a huge time lean. But what you might want to do is run for office, dude, because you get this platform, and it's understood it's a thing people abuse. Like, I don't know if you know Clifford Wallace Thornton. He ran for governor.
Yeah.
Right. Dude got like 1% of the vote, but he got a ton of attention, you know?
I do know that. If there's anything, if you want to raise your profile, that is the way to go. I also think that that's Chris Murphy's tactic, by the way.
But yeah, no, you should run. You should run, dude. I swear, I ran for office around here, and people still remember it. I ran for common council, and they remember it as running for mayor. People still say, "Hey, I voted for you." Yeah. And yeah, your thing is you're like a shock troop. You're like a suicide mic dropper. Yeah, you kick the door down, man. You catch the first top. That you're crazy. You don't care. Yeah.
I know.
So you're priceless where you are, man.
Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. Thank you, Fred. Let me take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views. By the way, we've got some very, very scandalous racial news to get into today. There is a new community that's starting, that's planning on expanding, and apparently there's a problem with good genes. We'll talk about it. Stick around. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC NewsTalk 1080.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
John, what are you doing? Get in my car. Why are you walking to work?
Thanks, man. It's these insanely high gas prices. They are draining my bank account. I can't afford to drive anymore.
Dude, don't walk. Just do what I do, because I never pay full price for gas anymore. I use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait, you're telling me you get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SMART for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code SMART. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SMART for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SMART.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
If you're drowning in IRS debt and afford to pay, then you need to take advantage of special IRS tax programs that are available and free yourself from IRS collection efforts once and for all. Due to the financial hardship consumers are facing throughout the country, the Internal Revenue Service has made it easier to settle delinquent tax problems. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Take down this number or store it in your cell phone, but call the Community Tax Helpline at 800-536-9607. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back, or even if you have years of unfiled tax returns, there's no need to fear anymore. But you have to call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-536-9607 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-536-9607 for your free consultation and to see if you qualify. Here we go. 800-536-9607.
Listen to WTIC News Talk 1080 on the free Odyssey app. Download and like WTIC today for alerts on special programming.
We're back, Reese on the Radio, and this is insane that up to 8,000 lead service lines could still be supplying Connecticut residents and other properties with water. And I don't know, like, who missed this? This is like, I remember in the 80s when we found out about that. I mean, not the 80s, the 90s, when we found out about this going on. And I remember the uproar in the early 2000s when people were like, yeah, we gotta fix this. Why is this so late? How could this possibly be the case? And I'm telling you, the outrage about it just baffles me, because as I've seen online, people are going, what's going on, Connecticut? This environmental record really looks bad. Not protecting the drinking water in the state, anywhere, even if it's just Waterbury, is a bad look for a state that's supposed to be on the cutting edge of clean air and clean water. I mean, are they only talking about, like, just like removing industrialism from the state, putting up wind farms, solar panels? Is it that kind of deal? Because, look, I got to look at all of this. I look at it today, folks. How do you not look at it and go, what happened? We went from all of that, all of this stuff that we listened to in the last, 2-3 years about can't have nuclear, got to have wind, got to have solar, got to have EVs. Then all of a sudden, abandoned. Completely abandoned. Now we find out lead pipes, poison in the waters. Like, what? How did we turn into Detroit? Like, what's going on? It's like all of this is being exposed, but no one is saying anything. Statements by public officials, nothing. What did Nick write? Let me read what Nick wrote here. He says, it's 100% true. There's a huge job down by the Connecticut shoreline to remove lead water pipes. It's 2025, Nick. It's 2025. How late can you be on lead water pipes, man? It makes Connecticut look like a 20th century state. That we're just getting around to that? You know what? Donald agreed. Even the Republicans are silent. Because it's embarrassing. Focusing on a lot of, again, the environmental nonsense was crazy. And now they've abandoned it. And when I say abandoned it, the abandonment makes no sense. It's going in a completely different direction. Nobody cares about the sewage. No one cares about poison. No conversations about wind farms or solar. Nothing. You got environmental groups who are silent. We got small little outfits talking about, yeah, we're okay with it. What happened? And I think deep down, what we're realizing here, I think from the bottom of my heart, what we're realizing is that it was all jokes. It was all phony. Not one of these people believed a damn thing they were saying for years. Not one of them. All of them frauds. At the end of the day, it's all about the almighty dollar. Sadly. All I want to know is how much money you're getting. For your silence, for you to acquiesce, I just want to know. Let's release some tax returns for the organizations who have 501c3 status. Let's just see them. Let's find out what's going on. Is there a corresponding rise in crime and decline in test scores in the lead pipe areas? You could damn well bet there is, Mike. You could damn well bet there is. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it for a moment. Isn't it in the town of Waterbury? Yeah. Oh, well. So it goes. We got more news, more views. The expansion of a white nation. You don't want to miss this. Let's get to some news for the WTIC newsroom. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC NewsTalk 1080.
WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
90 degrees at 3. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. Heat advisory in effect. High in the mid-90s today, low around 70 tonight. Then potentially record-setting heat.
Mostly sunny, very hot on Tuesday. We're going to break the record from 1933 with a high up to 98. Still very hot Wednesday, tying the record from 1988. Sun gives way to clouds. There'll be a thunderstorm in spots late afternoon.
High 98 Wednesday. The state medical examiner says Plainville firefighter Ray Moreau died of blunt force trauma to the head, neck, torso, and extremities, and rules the death an accident. State police say he was struck by equipment that fell off a truck during a fire response yesterday. WTIC's Morgan Cunningham reports.
We are a part of the same community, the same family who stands resolute as part of Connecticut's comprehensive safety system.
Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection Commissioner Ronell Higgins is among those sharing grief over Moreau's death. Moreau died during emergency surgery. State Police Captain Kate Coney on the investigation so far.
We are collaborating with OSHA and the state's attorney, Chris Watson, at New Britain Superior Court.
Morgan Cunningham, WTIC 1080 News.
The 60-year-old was a volunteer firefighter for 35 years. A ceremony will be held tomorrow night at Plainville High School. Speaking in Scotland, President Trump calls on Israel to ensure desperately needed food reaches Gaza, even though Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has downplayed the severity of the hunger crisis.
Asked if he agrees with Netanyahu.
I don't know. I mean, based on television, I would say not particularly, because those children look very hungry.
And the president's urging him to do something.
I want them to make sure they get the food.
It appears to be a recalibration of the president's stance on Gaza and comes as he met in Scotland with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer.
People in Britain are revolted at seeing what they're seeing on their screens.
The president says the U.S., UK, and others will set up food centers in Gaza, while again complaining America has not been given enough credit for organizing past aid.
The AP's Sagar Meghani. At least 2 people were killed and at least 3 more wounded after a shooting at the Grand Sierra Resort in Reno, Nevada. It happened just outside the building this morning. The gunman was apparently shot by security and is in custody. The federal judge says Medicaid must continue to reimburse Planned Parenthood nationwide.
The judge in the case, Indira Talwani in Boston, granted Planned Parenthood a permanent injunction blocking the government from cutting Medicaid payments to Planned Parenthood clinics that don't provide abortion care. Today's order replaces a preliminary injunction she granted last week. Under the ruling, patients can continue to use Medicaid for non-abortion related services like birth control and cancer screenings at Planned Parenthood health centers, and those centers can continue to be reimbursed by Medicaid for the services provided.
CBS's Christopher Cruz. And initial distribution went well. Now the state's pizza license plate is going wider. It benefits Connecticut Food Share, which needs the help, especially because of federal cuts to food assistance. So far, they're 35 trailer loads of food short this year. Here's CEO Jason Jakubowski.
That puts a lot of pressure on us. It puts a lot of pressure on our donors, and it puts a lot of pressure on the grocery stores here in Connecticut. But thankfully, they step up to the plate. The unfortunate reality is that even in a wealthy state like Connecticut, hunger is on the rise. 11% increase over the last year.
The license plate has a pizza graphic on it, the Connecticut Food Share logo, and the words, "The Pizza State." You can get your own at ctfoodshare.org/pizza plate. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 121, S&P dropping 9 points, the NASDAQ is up 33. And your forecast.
A heat advisory in effect all the way through Wednesday evening. Today, a heat index value between 95 and 100, then up to 103 Tuesday to Wednesday. Sunshine, a few clouds for the rest of our Monday afternoon, the high 94. Mainly clear, warm, and humid tonight, the low only 68. Mostly sunny. We're going to break the record from 1933 with the high up to 98 Tuesday. Very hot again Wednesday with the high back to 98 with some thunderstorms late afternoon. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
90 degrees now. Red Sox in Minnesota and WTIC pregame at 6:40. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
This is a special notice to all U.S. taxpayers with back taxes to the IRS. Billions in tax relief is now being made available to struggling taxpayers, giving thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars in savings away to those who qualify. If you're facing wage garnishment, threatening letters, audits, liens, levies, or already in a payment plan, you can now expedite the resolution to your tax problem, end collections, and even qualify to reduce a large portion of what you owe. Stop IRS Debt has established a relief hotline for you to call to check what savings and options you qualify for. Dial 800-518-9137. With many people facing job loss and rising cost of living, these special IRS initiatives are designed to aid delinquent taxpayers with the relief that they need to get a fresh start. For a free consultation to see what savings you qualify for, call 800-518-9137. 800-518-9137. 800-518-9137.
Comcast Business High Five Hotline. What's the state of your excitement?
I signed my business up for the 5-year price lock guarantee, and I can't stop high-fiving people. High five!
Okay, deep breath. You're in a good place. You signed your business up for 5 years of gig speed internet and advanced security, all on our ultra-reliable network.
Gig speeds and advanced security? I'm so stoked.
Yep, and you get it at a great rate that's locked in for 5 years.
Woo!
The high five is just your body's way of saying, I'm winning.
So this is natural.
High-fiving everyone you see in a state of business savings enthusiasm, totally natural.
Sweet! Thank you! Thank you! High five, everybody! High five!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee is back, but only for a limited time, so sign your business up today.
High five!
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/20. New customers with qualifying bundle. Current customers may be eligible depending on services and area. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Reese on the radio, making sense of the news. Yeah, even when it makes no sense at all. Now on WTIC, News Talk 1080.
All right, we are back, and I got plenty of stuff to talk about today, especially about this story that's garnered a couple of online comments that have got people talking about that you may have missed. Apparently, there is a whites-only community that is planning on expanding in the Ozarks. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but I always believe that these stories always have something else happening that people are ignoring. And I won't ignore them because it plays a huge part in our body politic that we don't often like to talk about. And you know me, that's why I do what I do. So you're not going to be surprised at what I would say the news media is ignoring. But we'll get into all of that. Let's start with some news. In our headlines today, a Stephen Colbert protest in New York City was wildly reported to take place, but quickly was ignored by the news media when it materialized. An astounding 20 people arrived at the Ed Sullivan Theater to protest the firing of Colbert, which I understand that there were 3 more people at this protest than those who watch him at night. Also, congratulations to Bubba Wallace. Congratulations, Bubba. Bubba Wallace made history for becoming the first black NASCAR driver to not accuse the rest of the world of racism. I'm sorry. No, he's already done that. Well, he didn't do it this year. Anyway, he's the first black driver to win a major race at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, securing the Brickyard 400 title. Democrats like Cullen Allred of Texas and Eric Swalwell of California have now posted videos of them pumping iron to appear tough. This is not working. They're running out of ideas. And this, of course, in the backdrop of the Democrat Party's image that's been eroding to its lowest point in more than 3 decades, according to a new Wall Street Journal poll, with voters seeing Republicans as better at handling most issues that decide elections. According to the new survey, 63% of voters hold an unfavorable view of the Democrat Party. That's the highest share of Journal polls during the 1990 and 30 points higher than the 33% held in a favorable view. Here is none other than Thrill Up My Leg, Chris Matthews, talking about the other side of polling data that says that Donald Trump is underwater. Chris Matthews doesn't seem to believe that.
To be honest with you, the country is moving towards Trump. I mean, these polls that come out and show him not doing well, I don't buy that. I think his strength is still greater than the Democratic strength. He is a stronger public figure than the Democratic people. I mean, Obama still has tremendous charisma, but Trump has strength. And I think that's what all voters look for. But they want a president who is a strong figure. And he's got it. And he can, it's just there. And half the country buys it.
Later on in the program, we'll get into a little bit more of that polling data that the Wall Street Journal is talking about. And now it's time for the stupidest thing I've read today.
Yes, you do. Stupid as can be. This could very well be the stupidest person on the face of the earth.
The American Eagle Jean Company is under fire for featuring Sydney Sweeney with the tagline, "Sydney Sweeney has good genes," which has been associated with eugenics, according to some online protesters. Many people are saying that because Sydney Sweeney is a blonde, blue-eyed woman, showing her in a pair of jeans that says that Sydney Sweeney has good genes is somewhat associated with eugenics. And I mean, when I say this has caused cover story backlash, I mean, it's, for me, it's just crazy that this is an issue, because I couldn't imagine somebody like Sydney Sweeney promoting eugenics. I don't know what her politics are, but if I'm certain, I'm positive that usually these protesters always associated themselves with eugenics. Why would they have a problem? I mean, their patron saint of killing babies, Margaret Sanger, who started Planned Parenthood, is a person who supports eugenics. If I remember correctly, this was a woman who started Planned Parenthood to get rid of undesirable black and brown babies and influence black pastors to get their parishioners, black and brown, in the pews to abort their babies for the simple fact of keeping America white. Didn't she? I mean, who of these people have a problem with eugenics? I mean, she is a pillar of the leftists. She gives out a white eugenics award, Margaret Sanger does, to every person who advocates for the dismissal, removal, hell, killing of their babies. Hillary Clinton, Martin Luther King Jr., to name a few. Eugenics? Who are these people fooling?
You know what's so dumb about that?
What's that?
The lady is beautiful, right?
Gorgeous.
So, in fact, she does have good genes. It just doesn't. She has good genes.
Is this?
And she has genes on. It's a metaphor. It's a play on words.
That's all it is.
Goodness gracious, man.
I know, but it's, again, the fact that this is turning into, and I'll tell you exactly where this is stemming from. It's the left is so upset about the losses they took at Target and at Bud Light for aligning themselves with woke folks. The Dylan Mulvaney of Bud Light and the transgender swimwear at Target. And Target allowing, transgenders to go into women's bathrooms. They took an L on that. Those businesses lost so much money. Target lost $10 billion in a week behind that bathing suit thing.
I'm trying to see who was in the boardroom.
Yeah.
And said this is a good idea.
Exactly. And to lose that $10 billion, Bud Light is still hemorrhaging money because of a decision to align itself with just a small little campaign with Dylan Mulvaney. It's still, and another part was, this, as I always bring up, when it is conservative backlash, right, or backlash against a conservative company or a conservative value in business, it fails miserably. And this is exactly what's going to happen with American Eagle. So think about this, folks. American Eagle gets backlash from the left, who doesn't buy jeans from American Eagle. They wouldn't. The name alone is an affront to who they are. They would never purchase anything from this company. They would never waste their minuscule dollars because they don't have a disposable income to boot. They would never buy these jeans at all. So the left starts making an online campaign to admonish American Eagle. They did the same thing with Chick-fil-A. They found out that the CEO was a traditional marriage guy, and they tried to hold the entire Chick-fil-A franchise accountable, tried to rally against it. We're going to have sit-ins and gay-ins and whatever they were calling it. So they're going to show up at the counter, and they were going to make out at every Chick-fil-A across the country. The news media ate it up, ran to every Chick-fil-A they could find. But when they got there, lines were around the corner to actually patronize the Chick-fil-A's everywhere. And what was seen? Folks, do the work. Go online. Local NBCs, CBS, and ABCs were seen minutes after arriving, leaving. Some people taunted the news media and says, hey, guys, where you going? The place has got a line around the corner. Are you leaving because it backfired? And they wouldn't say anything. Now, when the news media, again, is supposed to cover the news, what they should have covered was gay alliances and gay groups came to protest Chick-fil-A, but folks showed their support for the business by lining up lines and waiting hours to buy Chick-fil-A. That would have been a great story, but it was against the agenda. Same thing's going to happen here with American Eagle. Same thing's going to happen. There'll be this onslaught of all of the newspapers talking about how bad it was that they would run this ad with Sydney Sweeney, an obvious blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman. And what do conservatives do when they see the backlash online? They say, hey, let's go buy some jeans. American Eagle's products, their market share will skyrocket. Levi's will be like, who's the next beautiful white woman? We need to get her head out now. Cancel the Beyonce ad. They'll all do it. They'll all do it. Because they lose miserably. You cannot cater to an audience that doesn't purchase the tickets, doesn't purchase the items. You just can't. It works against you every time. Stop marketing to people who have no purchasing power. They just don't. So, this whole thing, it is nonsense because it is nonsense. And you'll see exactly where it goes. Now, folks, I want to tell you a part of this story and why this is absolutely insane, that there's an uproar. Okay? Whites-only community is plotting an expansion to another state as effort to build a white nation continue. A far-right ethno-nationalist group that has set up a whites-only community in the remote part of the Ozarks in northeastern Arkansas is reportedly exploring the possibility of expanding into Missouri. Return to the Land, which describes itself as a private membership association for individuals with traditional views and European ancestry, opened its first community in Arkansas in October of 2023 and is now considering entering a second state, likely near Springfield, according to NBC's regional affiliate, KSNT. The group is opposed to mass migration, multiculturalism, and forced integration, and reportedly does not welcome non-white, non-Christian, or LGBTQ people, explaining that its members are seeking to separate ourselves from a failing modern society and return to pastoral living. You want a white nation? Build a white town. Founder Eric Orwell asked in an X video promoting the initiative. It can be done, and we're doing it. RTTL's flagship community spans Approximately 150 acres of land is home to 40 inhabitants and features its own cabins, roads, wells, and community center, and a schoolhouse. It is followed by a second site nearby that opened in January of this year, with the group listing a further Ozark sites as upcoming and aspirations to move into the Appalachian Mountains on its website. Now, people are already screaming and hollering, look at them whites building their own communities to get away from blacks. It's a white supremacist town. Okay. So I won't hear anything else about Black Wall Street, will I? I won't hear another word about blacks having separate dorms or having separate graduations, because segregation is wrong, right? Integration is the way, right? I shouldn't hear anything about those things at all. Nobody should be building anything. Come on, folks. Is this really an issue? Or is it just exposing the hypocrisy? Because black communities, as they were, it's been a big deal for a long time. We have to have them. We need to have them. We need to go back to the days of Tulsa. Right? Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Why can't we get there again? And if they're not doing that, there's also another effort that was just promoted by the New York Times and the Washington Post about African Americans who have decided to leave the racist country of America and go back to Africa. By the way, it's a very few people are going. In the community, they refuse to go. Nobody's going. They might go as a joke, but they all come home. Trust me. Most of them can't deal with the heat. They can't. But all of this is nonsense. Building a white community for themselves should be okay in the grand scheme of things, shouldn't it? I'm trying to figure out what the biggest problem is. What, the fact that they're openly doing it, that they're having interviews, that they're not shy about their building their own white utopia? I'm still trying to figure it out. But I will tell you exactly what this is about, and it always has been. White acceptance. Oh, they won't tell you that, folks, but that's what it's about. It's white acceptance. The fact that whites would divvy up some land to themselves and live in their communities, take care of themselves, and blacks be excluded, why wouldn't they be upset? They are excluded, which means what? What's the opposite of exclusion? Acceptance. I can't believe that they would build a town where they want to be by themselves. You want to be accepted in there? I think we should be. Why? What do you need them for? That's simple. Yeah, I watched this video a long time ago. Not too long ago. But it's this African speaking to some other Africans about the word white supremacy. And he explains in the video, you may have seen it, he explains where the term white supremacy comes from. It's not what people think it means. In Africa, they invented the term white supremacy because he says that when whites came to Africa, they built things. They came with a gun that went boom. Said, you see the old pictures of everybody bowing down to the white because they thought they were superior, because they were showing up with things they had never seen before, with medicine, with clothing. They saw their life, and they saw them as superior. That's what he says. It's a different meaning in Africa. Perhaps people should investigate that. That's all I'm saying. But the same is the case here in the United States, like it or not. The biggest argument is this constant theme that you cannot just be accepted for who you are and where you come from. and you put certain groups on a pedestal while you're insulting them or admonishing them. Right? It's the biggest confusing boondoggle I've ever seen in my entire life. Admonish whites, at the same time want their status. It's jealousy. It couldn't get any simpler than that. If they were, think about it. If they saw themselves as valuable, these people who are protesting this white town, if they saw their own value, they wouldn't need somebody else's anything if they had their own value. They wouldn't need anything. Kanye West famously said this, and I bring him up because, people say that the guy's a pariah now, but even if he is, even a broken clock could be right twice a day. He said, you have all these people who are running around talking about pro-black this, pro-black that, and then buy European. They got the Louis Vuitton, the Gucci. They're buying the Maybachs and the Mercedes and the Audis, and the BMWs. And all they're screaming about is white supremacy, white supremacy, white supremacy. And then proving that with where they send their dollars. Ask an African designer whether or not he can get anybody in the hood to buy his wares. The answer is no. Carl Kanai, Fat Farm, Cross Colors. All of those companies were owned by black folks. Where are they today? Kaput. You're lucky if you can find them on eBay. Sean John. Well, that may not be a good company. But nonetheless, where are they? They're nowhere to be found. They don't even support their own. Why? They seem to be fighting for what? For white acceptance. You're not a fly, brother in the hood, unless you're wearing everything that black folks don't own or make. Damn, even Jordans are half his. Let's just tell the truth, folks. Let's just tell the truth. You don't have to like it. Let's just tell the truth. Maybe if you just stop building these communities, they'll stop building these communities. But as far as I'm concerned, hats off to them. Not going to tell me that I'm supposed to be a pariah. I'm supposed to be some sort of evildoer and then not expect me to go off and build my own? Y'all are bugging. Let's take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views. We got traffic and weather coming up soon. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
The law firm of Brown, Payne, Dearest & Scott understands that divorce can be intimidating, and the decisions you make today will impact your life forever. Divorce is complicated. There's a lot at stake when considering your future. At Brown, Payne, Dearest & Scott, our team of family attorneys have over 100 years of combined experience and understand every family law case is different. At BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer, you get a full-service law firm. Call us at 860-CALL-BPS or visit bpslawyers.com. Katie Bissonette is responsible for the content of this ad.
Every week on the Moth Podcast, we share stories that are funny, strange, heartbreaking, and above all, true.
I myself have been married for 56 years. Unfortunately, to 4 different women.
It turns out the people I was looking for all my life is what you people would call nerds.
Follow and listen to The Moth on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet, so make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
And now, a WTIC News Update.
91 degrees at 3:30. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. Heat advisory in effect high in the mid-90s today, low around 70 tonight, highs in the mid to upper 90s tomorrow. At least 2 people were killed and at least 3 more wounded in a shooting at the Grand Sierra Resort in Reno, Nevada. Reno Police Chief Catherine Nance.
Early this morning, about 7:25, we received a report of an active shooter in the Valley area, the GSR. We responded to the scene, and within 4 minutes, we had located the suspect.
The suspect apparently shot by security and is in custody. A man on a motorcycle is in ICU at Hartford Hospital after a late morning crash outside a McDonald's in Meriden. Police say the driver of a Honda CR-V exited the McDonald's parking lot without yielding to traffic. The biker crashed into it and was thrown from the motorcycle, suffering serious injuries. Public ceremony, 7 p.m. tomorrow at Plainville High School in memory of volunteer firefighter Ray Moreau, who died while responding to a house fire yesterday morning.
The loss of Ray Moreau cuts like a knife at the Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection.
Commissioner Ronnell Higgins says state police are investigating how a piece of a fire truck broke free, striking Moreau.
Nothing hurts more than the ultimate sacrifice that was witnessed in the town of Plainville.
The state medical examiner says Moreau died of blunt force trauma to the head, neck, torso, and extremities and rules the death an accident. Aid is trickling into Gaza after Israel announced a pause in operations for 10 hours a day, but observers say it's not nearly enough to feed many thousands of starving people.
Aid trucks are on the move after a sudden reversal by Israel. It announced it would enable more food and supplies to enter the Strip after pictures of hungry Gazans and malnourished children shocked the world, prompting international condemnation.
CBS's Elizabeth Palmer. The latest exit number changes have arrived, this time on the Merritt Parkway. You can watch for the signs to change starting today. The old exit numbers will be displayed for at least 2 years. On Wall Street, the Dow down 116, S&P dropping 8 points. The NASDAQ is up 37 points. And here's your forecast.
A heat advisory remains in effect all the way through Wednesday evening. Heat index values this afternoon between 95 and 100 degrees. Then up to 103 over the next couple of afternoons. So for the rest of our Monday afternoon, sun, a few clouds, the high of 94. Mainly clear, warm, and humid tonight, the low only down to 68. Then on our Tuesday, mostly sunny. We're going to break the record set in 1933 with the high up to 98. Wednesday, a very hot day, the high back to 98. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
91 degrees now. Sports, Red Sox in Minnesota and WTIC pregame at 6:40. Yankees host Tampa Bay. The Mets with 7 straight wins at San Diego. The Connecticut Sun hosting Seattle tonight. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
Are you looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey,
That's
where's John Silver? This is like the second week he
ZipRecruiter.com/free.
hasn't been here.
ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Ryan Jackman here for QC Kinetics. Listen, let me ask.
Oh, no, he's here. He's doing them. I think this week he might be on vacation, but last week he was. Morgan was on vacation and he was doing his early morning stuff.
It's time to call them and schedule a free consultation with these medical pros at QC Kinetics. There are thousands of patients who will tell you they wish they would have done it sooner. They turned around their lives with QC Kinetics.
Did you hear me?
Treatments that work with your
Sorry,
body
yes,
to
I
help
did. I
restore
had my
and
mic off.
repair
Yes.
damage.
Oh, my bad. Oh, my bad.
No, that was me.
Natural cellular therapies, no scalpels, no pills, just long-term relief with no dreaded recovery. You bring your x-rays, bring your MRIs to QC Kinetics for that free, no-pressure chat, and they'll give you that evaluation to see if you're a good candidate. Worst case, you learn something. Best case, you get your life back. Grab the phone right now, give them a call. 860-440-PAIN, and chances are they're close to you too. They're in Avon, they're in New Haven, they're in Glastonbury. And that phone number, one more time, to get that free consultation with QC Kinetics at 860-440-PAIN.
Here at ALO, we believe hearing solutions to your main drain problems shouldn't cost a thing. That's why we offer free mainline drain camera inspections and free estimates on sewer line repair or replacement. Contact the trusted professionals at ALO when you call, click, or text today and say, hello, ALO. Call for details. Licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P10277688, S104062441, S3308699, SM3004646, E1185643.
Erectile dysfunction affects nearly 50% of men over age 50.
But even with so many men affected, finding a trusted provider to treat the condition isn't so simple. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice, and I'm excited to announce the opening of our newest location of Northeast Men's Health in Warwick, Rhode Island.
Do you know
As
how
a
to read
Promenic
them?
affiliate, Northeast Men's Health
I never even looked at them before.
the latest treatment protocols,
All right,
which
you
are
need to
shown
see
in
them.
medical studies to be effective in well over 90% of men. And unlike groups that only offer wave therapy or online pharmacies that just sell pills, we offer a variety of treatments to help get you the results you want. You should also know that Northeast Men's Health is a true medical practice, which means our providers have access to a complete range of treatment options to get you back on track. So call Northeast Men's Health today. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes a medical consult, blood work, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With
All right, I
Ethos,
just
you
sent
could be
it to
covered
your
in 10
email.
minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Hi, Dave Berger from Modern Plumbing Supply. Whether we like to admit it or not, we're all getting a little bit older each day. And as we get older, we need products to make our lives easier and safer, especially in the bathroom. From safety grab bars, shower seats, and handheld shower systems, Modern Plumbing Supply is the place to get your quality safety products at affordable prices. Modern Plumbing Supply showroom on the Berlin Turnpike in Berlin. Products to make your life safer every day.
Great design with you in mind. Modern Plumbing Supply.
Actual price will Prescription plan featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you, if prescribed and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Hey, it's Joe D'Ambrosio giving a salute to the broadcaster at 100.
We're back, Reese on the Radio. And I was thinking about this during the commercials, about this whole, white segregated place in the Ozarks. Craig in the car, thank you for your commentary on Facebook. He wrote something that was so great. I didn't even think about it. Isn't Chinatown racist then? Just isn't it? It is. I can think of Chinatown in New York, Chinatown in Boston, Flushing, Queens. By the way, if you've ever been there, I got to tell you this quick story. I did this to Jamie Montgomery. He was supposed to meet me there for a party at Flushing, Queens, the last stop on the 7 train. And in Flushing, he had never been there before. We're both Queens boys, but he had never gotten off the train there. And I told him, okay, when you get off the train, make sure you go all the way to the last portion. You're going to walk forward when you get off the train. Walk all the way to the front, go off the last staircase. And when you come upstairs, you're going to be right on the main strip. When you get up there, stand in front of the Chinese restaurant. When Jamie walks upstairs and gets outside at Flushing, and every place is a Chinese restaurant. Everything's in Chinese letters, for those of you who know the town. And he calls me up screaming on the phone. He goes, everything is Chinese here. Yet nobody would ever say that was racist, right? Go to any one of their businesses. You don't find any minorities working in there. when I say minorities other than Chinese, no. And you wouldn't know anyway. They could probably have Koreans or Vietnamese working there. You wouldn't be able to know because, again, it's hard to discern. That's without a doubt. Right? You would just walk in there and you would just think everybody, well, they were all Asian. Let's just say that. But you wouldn't bat an eye. You would never complain about black folks not working in or living in a Chinese neighborhood. You just wouldn't, which totally exposes the nonsense. It's just the same reason why the LGBTQ community goes after the Catholic Church and not the Muslim mosque. Right? Because some bigotry is acceptable. Catholic Church, not allowed. Muslim mosque, hedge. All the way hedge. That's all it is. So you can scream and holler about this, but you know what the deal is. And it's all about extortion. At the end of the day, it's always extortion. What can you get out of it? Think about the opportunity. I'm going to take an opportunity here. Starbucks, been around forever, right? One of the biggest coffee franchises in the country, right? Remember the Philadelphia issue with the 2 young black men who refused to leave, wanted to use the bathroom but didn't purchase anything at the Starbucks, were asked to leave, created a whole controversy because the police had to be called and asked them to leave, which ended up having Starbucks change its policy where it unlocked all of its doors only to change them after all the homeless people started using it and drugging up in there. Then they fired one of its regional managers only for her to sue and actually win in court that she had been, sort of used as a scapegoat for that stupidity. Remember all of that? What an opportunity for the African-American community. Shaquille O'Neal, Michael Jordan, any other billionaire in the black community, open up, their own version of Starbucks. They could have done it. Hey, Starbucks doesn't want us in there. Let's just, no. Why? They use those poor kids as an extortion tactic. Make Starbucks bend to our will. That's all it is. It's all it ever is. These folks aren't serious about this nonsense. Al Sharpton, when the cartoon came out in the New York Post about the stimulus package by Barack Obama, it was at the same time that the gorilla or ape, whatever it was, chimpanzee attacked the woman in Connecticut. Remember that? New York Post put an article. What did Al Sharpton do? He held protests outside of the New York Post every day, all day, until they brought him upstairs. New York Post brought him upstairs, and what did they do? They said, Al, what can we do to get these people to leave? Hey, cut a check. And sure enough, they did. It's all extortion. They don't care about that. Be as racist as you want, but have your checkbook ready. This is faux outrage. It always is. It's an opportunity to take money or to get money. But never once did any one of these individuals decide, instead of being angry at the whites-only neighborhood, just create their black-only neighborhood. No. Why? There's nothing in it. There's no leverage. There's no political leverage. There's no moral leverage. There's no financial leverage at all. That's all it is. Those, by the way, if you ever want to understand how these people operate, those are your 3 pillars right there. Moral, political, financial. It's how Al Sharpton does his business. It's the template. It's the Al Sharpton rule. How can I bully you? Morally, politically, or financially? So, I look at the same deal with, what's-her-face, with Sydney Sweeney, with the American Eagle Company. The objective is to sow outrage for what? To extort American Eagle into an apology. To then do an ad with some overweight black woman named Lizzo, and then do the same ad saying that Lizzo has good genes. No one's going to believe that, but whatever. That's if they buckle, that's exactly what you're going to see. Mark my words. But no one would have actually gained from it other than Lizzo, and for them, Those who were protesting, they would have gotten they'd gotten exactly the extortion they wanted. Acquiescence. And I say, hell no. You first. Desegregate the college dorms now. Desegregate the graduations now. I don't want to hear another thing about a black safe space. End it. You want to end this nonsense? Now, you first. End DEI now. Knock it off. Everybody's equal? Get to it. But no, they're doubling down. So, if now you're telling us that we have to have multiculturalism, if you're telling us that we do have to have this, that, and the third, my response to that is, good, we'll double our efforts. Good luck on them. Hey, listen, if you got a white community out there that's all white, God bless you. I don't care. You want to know why? Because I'm not begging to get in. I don't see what you have as something that I need to get. I'm not dying for you to open the door. It's not a nightclub. I don't want to be down. That's the problem with these folks. They always want to be down. They feel excluded. You know, something that hurts their heart. They don't want us. So what? That's life. Not everybody wants you. It's just a fabric of life. Not everyone's you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. As my wife likes to say, they don't all have good taste. But there's constant whining about, like, they don't want to let us in. They're being segregated. Let them. Matty O's not agreeing with me on this one. How you doing, sir?
Hello, Mr. Hopkins. Well, now you kind of brought me back down a level or two, my friend, because like I thought you were saying there's nothing wrong with it. There's no problem with segregation. And I'm thinking like, no, segregation in any form is bad. I don't care if it's, all black colleges or all white communities. It's bad. But now I see the angle you're coming from. So you brought me down about 5 levels. I don't normally call you when I agree with you because I agree with you all the time, most of the time. So I'd be calling all the time. I only call when I disagree with you. And, but you kind of brought me down. Yeah.
Well, listen, what I'm saying is that under certain circumstances, segregation has to work, but only for the betterment of what I would consider an endangered group. Hear me out, right? If you have a particular group of people that are in the threat of sort of dissipating or disappearing, right? You have to stay within that because you're concerned with your numbers, right? This particular group is trying to expand its lineage. So they're focusing on it. Now, a lot of people can look at that and just go, well, that seems racist. But in that case, I would respond to them by going, well, we don't have Romans anymore, do we?
Okay. Let me push back a little bit.
No, goodness, I want it.
You're talking about like something like Chinatown or, Italian. But the difference is when I just went to Chicago a few months back, I stayed in Chinatown. They didn't say, get out, you're white. It was...
You were only visiting.
It was, yes, I'm only... it was Chinatown, and it was, geared toward Asian Americans, but it's not like I wasn't welcome there because I was white.
Right.
That's the difference. Like, if you're saying whites only community or black only community or this only community, you're basically saying you're not welcome here if you don't look like us. And
let's take that and let's take that on, right? Let's take that on. Did you hear about this story in Cincinnati that happened over the weekend?
I don't think so.
Okay, so there's a huge story that very few in the news media are covering. Let me read it out to you. And I know there's some people online who are in the chat room who know about this. Police say that they're investigating a large fight that occurred on 4th Street on Friday night. Video circulating on social media depicts a man being punched by multiple people and falling to the ground where he is repeatedly kicked. A woman is also seen being attacked and knocked to the ground. Authorities say that they were working to gather more information about the incident. Now, The story gives you no context, but watch the video. And the man and the woman are white, and the people who are punching them and kicking them and knocking them to the ground unconscious are black. These are white folks who are attacked by blacks, and yet it is covered by no one. In fact, Fox News finally covered it today. It happened on Friday, and no one's covering it. So now when I see that, that is a group of people who are saying that you, as a white person, are not welcomed here. Now, if those two individuals, after that beatdown, had decided to join these folks in the Ozark to live there so that they could never be accosted like that again, what would you say to them?
I would say to them, if a black person walked into our community, we treated them like that, it's the same fucking thing. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. I'm
so all right. Sorry. I got it.
It's
I
the
got
same
it.
thing.
But no, I think we'll delete it.
I'm so sorry, dude.
That's all right. It's okay. I think you're obviously passionate about it. I appreciate you. Let me take a break anyway. It's that time. Thank you, Matt. Some people just get passionate. We'll get to some more news and more views when we return. Stand by. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC NewsTalk 1080.
Hey, it's Matt Soroyce. If you're like me, you may be feeling sluggish in these dog days of summer.
Oh,
and with it being so hot,
why,
you may
Matt?
be lacking a bit of motivation while still hanging on to some unwanted weight. That's where Awaken 180 Weight Loss has helped me the most. The one-on-one coaching you get at Awaken 180 will drive you to feeling your absolute best while giving you the energy that you've always wanted. Awaken 180 Weight Loss is the long-term solution for weight loss, and that's because they give you the tools and knowledge to control your eating while not feeling hungry and all the while still eating delicious food. Awaken 180 Weight Loss has helped over 25,000 people now lose weight for good, and they can help you too. Start today and you can be down 20, maybe even 30 pounds by the time Labor Day rolls around. So don't wait a second more. The team there is waiting for your call. Give them a call right now and make this summer the one where you feel your absolute best. Set up your free consultation today at 844-346-1800. Again, 844-346-1800, or go online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Hi, I'm Joe with SimpleSaleUSA.com, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 203-896-4000. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and more importantly, anywhere in Connecticut. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trash and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and even foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 203-896-4000. That's 203-896-4000. 203-896-4000.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection.
Yes, Donald, they did.
Get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
It's Reese on the Radio. Ask your doctor if common sense is right for you. On NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Yeah, I was asked in the chat room is the black mob, why did they attack this white couple? I don't want to sound weird, but what in God's name does that have to do with it? Like, what does that have to do with it? They kicked him when he was on the ground after they knocked him unconscious. I'm still, again, in my head, I'm saying to myself, are you trying to find a remedy for this? in some way? Like, am I supposed to consider, did they call people the N-word? Because then I can understand why they would knock them out and then have a bunch of people kick them and almost kill them in the street. That makes sense. Is that what, are you trying to rationalize it? Because don't get me wrong, I've heard that ridiculous response before. I've heard that 1,000 times before. So you just gonna have to ask yourself a question and go, what warrants a man and a woman, hell, a woman, being beaten unconscious on the floor, on the ground? What warrant it? Huh? Yeah, exactly. A mob of people. Folks never make sense to me. Anyway, let's go to my man, Rudy. What's going on, sir?
Hey, I tried to call Friday, but you were like interviewing someone.
Oh, yeah.
Might have been your wife.
What's going on? Oh, no, I did see your call. Yeah, my bad. What's going on?
So before I get into this, I wanted to ask you this because you brought up your mom, and I forgot the reference to your mother. But in past references, she called you a two-story house without a staircase.
Without stairs, right, yeah, because of my height.
Yeah. So I just want to say she's very insightful and intelligent. I don't know how she treated you, what you think of her as a mother.
Okay.
But the question coming out of the whole thing was your elders conservative, Republican? Like, how did you become a Republican?
Oh, yeah, they were. First of all, everybody in my family was a Democrat with the exception of my grandfather, Augusta, who always kept his politics private.
So how'd you become a Republican?
Third grade teacher. Yeah.
All right.
He was.
It was just a personal question I was curious about.
No. He was. I watched a couple of speeches by Ronald Reagan, and the one speech that blew my mind was "Rendezvous with Destiny." It's one he told over and over again. And I asked my third grade teacher, who is always doing quizzes inside the classroom that involve politics and pop culture. I asked him, I said, hey, what's this guy Ronald Reagan all about? And he looked at me and he grabbed me over to the side and he goes, who sent you? Which, again, in the public school system, somebody talking about conservatism was unheard of. And so he asked me, like, why am I asking? And I told him. And then he started talking to me about conservatism and about Republicans. And I was interested. I was hooked ever since.
So I got two things, the Cincinnati thing and the overall topic.
You know what? Then hold on for me. You know what? Hold on for me, because I'll get to that in a second, because I got to go to a hard break. But I will hold you over. Right. Let's get to weather and traffic. Our first check of weather and traffic with Jason Catarina. And Mark Christopher is back. He's in the BPS Traffic Center. Welcome back, sir.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound side of I-91, look for delays 33 down to 32 A and B. Northbound side of 91, no problems. Cromwell up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is tied up. 56 Governor Street up to 47 Sigourney. 84 eastbound, just losing a little speed between 44 and 46 Sisson Avenue. 291 through 84, that looks good. 2 eastbound into Glastonbury and Marlboro, no issues. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park up toward the Irrigoni Bridge. If you are heading 84 eastbound in Cheshire, a little slow getting by 26. Westbound 84 slows in Newtown, approaching 11 to exit 10. Eastbound 84 in Newtown slowing by 9. If you are traveling southbound 95 New Haven, slowing 46 down to 44. And southbound to the Parkway, delays from exit 60 into the West Rock Tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
A heat advisory in effect all the way through Wednesday evening. Today, a heat index value between 95 and 100, then up to 103 Tuesday to Wednesday. Sunshine, a few clouds for the rest of our Monday afternoon, the high 94. Mainly clear, warm, and humid tonight, the low only 68. Mostly sunny. We're going to break the record from 1933 with the high up to 98 Tuesday. Very hot again Wednesday with the high back to 98 with some thunderstorms late afternoon. I'm meteorologist Jason Catarina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Mystic, Hamden, Putnam. When you want local news, turn to WTIC News Talk 1080, reporting on the local stories that affect you. From Manchester to Mystic, Hartford to Hampton, and Putnam to Plymouth, one radio station has your local news and breaking news as it happens. WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen on your radio, smart speaker, and on your phone with the free Odyssey app. WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
91 degrees, 4 o'clock. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. Heat advisory in effect. High in the mid-90s today. Jason Caterina of AccuWeather says it feels hotter than that.
Now, heat index values this afternoon between 95 and 100, then mostly sunny, very hot on Tuesday. We're going to break the record from 1933 with a high up to 98.
And about 98 Wednesday as well. The complete forecast coming up. Cooling centers now open across Hartford and the state. United Way 211 has more info on locations. The state medical examiner says Plainville firefighter Ray Moreau died of blunt force trauma to the head, neck, torso, and extremities and rules the death an accident. Moreau was hurt while responding to a house fire on Maria Road yesterday. State Police Captain Kate Coney.
A piece of the fire truck broke free of the apparatus and struck firefighter Moreau, causing catastrophic injuries to his leg. Firefighter Moreau was transported to the Hospital of Central Connecticut in New Britain, where he succumbed to his injuries during surgery.
And a ceremony in Moreau's memory is set for tomorrow at 7 p.m. at Plainville High School. This is town manager Michael Paulus.
This community will come together. This community will heal. But we have a fallen hero to recognize today.
In other news, President Trump urging Israel to ensure food reaches the starving people of Gaza. More aid is getting through today, but observers say it's far from enough. The BBC's Jeremy Bowen flew with one airlift from Amman, Jordan.
Israelis don't want us to film out of the window at the devastation inside Gaza. But I've spent 10 minutes looking at it with my own eyes. And I can tell you that communities in the north of Gaza that I knew well, very vibrant, tens of thousands of people living hard lives, are flat. There's nothing left of them.
Speaking in Scotland, Trump also slashed the deadline for Russia to stop the fighting in Ukraine before new sanctions are put in place.
2 weeks ago in the Oval Office.
We're going to be doing very severe tariffs if we don't have a deal in 50 days.
But today in Scotland,
I'm going to make a new deadline of about 10 or 12 days from today.
the president says there's no reason to wait.
We just don't see any progress being made.
And he's not interested in talking anymore with Vladimir Putin, expressing skepticism that Russia's willing to reach a deal to stop the fighting.
I really felt it was going to end, but every time I think it's going to end, he kills people.
Sagar Magani, Washington.
Also, Trump slapping a 15% tariff on goods from the EU to be paid for by Americans buying those imported products. Authorities will file terrorism charges against the suspect in a weekend knife attack at a Michigan Walmart. 11 people were stabbed. All are expected to survive. Connecticut Food Share says federal cuts to food assistance are deeply hurting its mission. 35 trailer loads of food lost so far this year. You can help by donating. One way to do that is by getting your own special Connecticut pizza license plate. Each plate shows a slice of pizza and the words, "The Pizza State." DMV Commissioner Tony Guerrera.
Yes, it's beautiful. It's the pizza plate. It's the capital of the world, I want to say, even when it comes to pizza, because everyone loves Connecticut pizza in New Haven. But more importantly, it's about feeding families who need to be fed.
There's more info at ctfoodshare.org/pizza plate. Big week for earnings on Wall Street.
The earnings pipeline will be busy pumping out a lot of big names this week, including another batch of high-profile tech companies, including Apple, Amazon, Microsoft, and Meta, 4 of the top 6 most valuable companies in the world. On top of the tech quartet, other earnings of significance will be coming from Boeing, Starbucks, Visa, UPS, and Ford. According to FactSet, 34% of the S&P 500 has reported earnings so far for the second quarter, and 80% of those companies have beaten earnings expectations.
CBS's Jason Brooks. On Wall Street, the Dow closing down 64 points. S&P was up 1 point. The NASDAQ was plus 70. Sports, Red Sox in Minnesota on WTIC pregame at 6:40. Yankees host Tampa Bay. The Mets with 7 straight wins at San Diego. WNBA, the Connecticut Sun hosting Seattle. And Colorado football coach Deion Sanders says he will coach this season after surgery for bladder cancer. He says since the procedure, there are no traces of cancer. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
Paul's new drone startup. Genius computer scientist.
We just lost our
Thank
best
you, sir.
genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius or two half geniuses and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx.
Here we go.
Today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
It's Reese on the radio. And don't say we didn't warn you on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
We'll get back to Rudy in a second, but I got to do this.
Savory, flavory, bagel, deli, and bakery. Between rounds, between rounds.
And congratulations to our Between Rounds winner, David B. of Don't Drink the Waterberry. He is our winner of a dozen bagels a month for 6 months, courtesy of Between Rounds, the Bagel Bakery and Sandwich Cafe located in South Windsor, Vernon, and Manchester. That's it. If you want to win, if you'd like an opportunity to win, you got to go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. In order to enter, get all of your name, your info, your telephone number, your birthday. Get that in there in a little fill-out form. Please do not forget those things. You must not live outside of Connecticut, and you must not have won within the last 6 months of today in order to participate, if not win. Again, that's reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com, so you can participate and win Between Rounds, the dozen bagels a month for 6 months. We'll get back to Rudy in a bit. But yeah, this story about the whites only, and of course the attack on the white couple in Cincinnati, and of course this now conversation about Sydney Sweeney and her jeans is bringing race back into the fold. All of this is going to fall flat, folks. But you know what? It's been a long time since they've had something racial to be upset about. Now they have it. But this one's going to, all this stuff is weak sauce. But let's get back to some weather and traffic while everybody's starting to head home. Jason Caterina is going to tell you how hot it is. It is hot. And Mark Christopher is going to tell you whether or not you're going to bake in your car in the traffic, in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark. Who's not there yet? Oh, he's about to be there. I hope he's not baking in the car. Mark, you there? We'll give him a sec. I could just.
I don't know where he is.
Yeah, maybe he had to run real quick and grab some water because of all of the scorching heat out there. It's okay. Usually he just jumps in and says, "Hey, I'm here," but it's not now. Maybe he's out watching a movie. He could be doing that. He usually doesn't do that, but
maybe bathroom break. Maybe
that's possible.
I'm here.
There he goes.
Here. I'm sorry.
It's all right, sir. You got
Wrong station. Hey, this traffic report being brought to you by Columbia Implant Center in Manchester. If you're heading into Hartford right now, you're on the southbound side of I-91.
I was just about to switch it too.
And B. If you're on the northbound side of 91, that's moving very well. Cromwell up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is tied up approaching the Boakley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush. 84 eastbound delays. 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 291 through 84, that looks good. 2 eastbound's moving well. Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound slowing Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge in Middletown. Now, if you're 84 eastbound, look for delays in Cheshire 25A up to the 691 interchange. If you're traveling in toward New Haven, southbound 95, you got delays 46 down to 44. And southbound Parkway delays 60 into the West Rock Tunnel. 84 westbound in Newtown delays from the Rochambeau Bridge up to exit 10 in Newtown. This traffic report being brought to you by Columbia Implant Center in Manchester. Stuck in traffic again? Don't waste another minute. Columbia Implant Center in Manchester gets you in and out fast, often in just one day. Open 7 days a week. Get your smile back now. Columbia Implant Center, ColumbiaImplantCenter.com. Traffic and weather together on the 8th. WTIC News Talk 1080.
Speaking of heat, a heat advisory the next 2 days until 8 p.m. on Wednesday. Heat index values the next couple of afternoons could be into the low triple digits, mainly clear, warm, and humid tonight. It's a little respite from the heat overnight as well. The low only down to 68. Mostly sunny. We're going to break the record from 1933 tomorrow with the high all the way up to 98. Partly cloudy, warm, and humid on Tuesday night. The low, again, only 71. So, again, little respite as it heats up quickly again Wednesday. Will tie the record from 1988. Sun giving way to clouds, a thunderstorm in spots late afternoon that could produce some localized damage and wind gusts and some flooding downpours. High back to 98 Wednesday. Then much cooler Thursday. Cloudy, still humid. Couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm. The high of 82. Friday, periods of rain in the morning. Otherwise, cooler still. Cloudy. The high only 73 on Friday. Right now, let's see. It's 88 in Waterbury, 91 Danbury, 89 in Bridgeport, 90 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Don't turn to expensive injections and don't starve yourself to lose weight. Awaken 180 Weight Loss guides you to drop those unwanted pounds while eating the foods that you love. Call Awaken 180 Weight Loss today to start your journey to your best you. 844-346-1800 or awaken180weightloss.com.
At Columbia Dental, we love to make kids smile. Our expert pediatric dentists specialize in children's dental care, making every visit fun and comfortable. Open 7 days a week. Call 860-645-0111 or visit columbiadental.com.
Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
At Aiello Home Services, we handle hundreds of water heater issues a year. We know how much of an inconvenience no hot water is, and with our fully stocked trucks and warehouse, you can get your hot water back as soon as the same day. Contact the trusted professionals at Aiello Home Services when you call, click, or text today and say, "Hello, Aiello." Call for details. Licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P1027768, S10406241, S3 308699, SM 3004646, E1185643.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared.
1 minute.
You into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
President of the Chris Murphy Fan Club, Reese on the Radio, on News Talk 1080, WTIC.
Let's go back to the phones. I promised Rudy we bring them back. What's going on, sir? What was the last thing you wanted to ask?
So I'm going to try to combine these two things.
Okay.
I thought about it because you.
Sir?
Yep.
Oh, okay, yeah. So, okay, you thought about them. What were the two things?
While you get one on the break, I think I condensed it perfectly to combine white only and the Cincinnati thing.
Okay.
And just a premise, you've lived in New England and New York, and New York's very similar to Chicago. I grew up in Chicago, spent time in New England. Now I'm in Florida. Chicago's very diverse, biracial neighborhood.
Sure.
You can date whoever you want. And then I had my experience in New England, which I'll get into, that relates to white only. And now I'm in Florida, and everyone thinks the South is racist, but I'm in a redneck Republican white city and county, but my neighborhoods are diverse. So you got two types of black people mainly, and you got multiple types of white people.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is you got the people in Cincinnati stabbing the white people.
Okay. I'm trying. Maybe I'm missing something, but go ahead. I apologize. You need to explain further.
That's the type of black person that Chris Rock tried to describe, and everyone should go see this on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. Okay. No, we're clear. We're clear.
Where he goes, you haven't gone to jail? You're not supposed to go to jail.
Right.
What do you mean you pay child support? You're supposed to pay child support.
Right.
Those are the people that don't live up to their responsibilities.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll take the second greatest black man since Chris Rock, Martin Luther King. You're supposed to live by merit. You're supposed to live by merit and content. And those are people like you who get on the radio every day, try to give 100%, try to be professional, has nothing to do with your race.
Nothing.
You want to do the best job you can. I have a woman where I live named Zelda. She is the CFO of the largest credit union in Florida, the 10th largest credit union in the country. And she's a black woman, and she's one of the smartest people I ever met. And she blows the average white woman professional out of the water with her class and intelligence. So those are those people. And then I could take my New England experience, which you experienced, because you were at WRKO, right?
Yeah.
So I dealt with Dorchester and Southie.
Oh, yeah.
The Irish Catholic Democrats that would not let black people in.
That's right.
It was never publicly announced that it's an all-white inclusive neighborhood, but it was. The Italians in North End did the same thing. They still do it.
Oh yeah, it's still very prominent there.
Right, Reese. If you married Beyonce and moved to Simsbury right now, you'd be the black family in the neighborhood. It still exists in New England. It does not exist in the majority of the rest.
But wait a minute,
country.
hold on. There's a deeper context that I think you're saying, but not.
There's a real deep context.
Wait, hold on, because
I want to go.
Because I think what you're saying is something that I've said for a lot of years back in the days, and this is off air, but I think I've kind of said it here on the air, that in the unlikeliest of places in the Northeast that are supposed to be incredibly liberal, there's more of the non-inclusive neighborhoods like Southie. Like Massachusetts is an overwhelmingly Democrat state, but they have some of the biggest prejudice.
Democrat town like West Hartford.
Yes.
And there's a no hate, no home here.
Yeah.
That means they want to build housing projects in Middlefield and Middletown to get black people and Hispanic people houses, but don't do it in my neighborhood.
Exactly.
I don't want you.
Exactly. No, you're making the exact point I'm making.
That is why I keep saying that there's like multiple levels of white people with their racism, but it's so predominantly in the Northeast.
Yes.
With white liberals.
Yes.
And often Catholics.
You know what's crazy? I said that was the first time in my life I had ever experienced. I had been to the South. And then I went to Buffalo, New York in the 1990s. No, late 80s, early 90s. And I was going, I've never been treated like this in the South that everyone told me I was supposed to be fearful of. Mississippi, Alabama. I get to Buffalo, New York, and people had said some of the most offensive things about my race that I couldn't even imagine. And I'm going, wait a minute, this is New York.
Reese, so the last two things, like, you in the Northeast,
yeah,
you have a white wife, right?
No, my wife's Mexican, but I've been married, often white.
your son's mother's white, right?
Yes.
So you have a biracial son. Your ex-wife is white. In Boston, you would be homeless because the blacks don't want you because you're Carlton, and the whites don't want you because you're Uncle Tom,
right?
Because they're all racist Democrats. In the South, nobody would care where I live.
Oh, it's over. I couldn't
Chicago,
believe it when I went
care.
to Memphis. I went to Memphis and I had seen a concentration of what do you call it? Of mixed interracial relationships in Memphis in 1996 that I couldn't even find or was frowned upon in the Northeast. It was incredible to me.
Polk County, Florida sits 32 miles from downtown Tampa and 48 miles from Disneyland. It votes 68% Republican. It's about 68% white.
Wow.
What do you think we see more often? A black woman with a white husband or a white woman with a black husband?
Probably the latter.
No, we see more black women with white husbands.
Oh, really? Whoa, wow.
About 4 to 1.
Damn. Okay, it's incredible, but you know what?
There's such a strong black middle class in Central Florida.
Very true.
I'm not saying this exists in Miami or Jacksonville.
Sure.
But when you get out to like the middle class areas, the population is 18% black here. And if you get out of the urban inner cities, the black population that's 18% is like college educated, professional, like Zelda that I talked about.
Yeah. It's interesting.
It's a different world.
Yeah.
And the neighborhoods aren't segregated. I mean, I lived in Middlefield, Connecticut. I remember I ran the census numbers in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
There was like 5 black people, 3 Asian people, and 2 Hispanics in a town of 2,500 people. Like, I mean, that's what Connecticut is.
Well, actually, the
minorities
numbers have changed dramatically in the last 20 years. There was a poll. There was some data that just came out recently where those numbers. Now, if you were to look at them, you wouldn't even recognize some of these towns. We're talking about numbers
the bottom line is a silent white inclusiveness.
Yes,
and it's mainly in the Northeast, in New York, New England, New Jersey.
100% right. Thank you, Rudy. Let me grab some others here. Thanks, boss. Let's go to Aaron and Goshen real quick. Hey, Aaron.
Hey, so I'll just piggyback on that a little bit. He kind of was making some points that I was going to make.
Okay.
Yeah, I like to call him the closet racist of New England. There's plenty of them. It's like, oh, not in my neighborhood. Prime example. And I will say this: Democrats are the most racist people on the face of the planet. Way more. Like they call Republicans racist. Not even close. Democrats put themselves on a pedestal and look down on the African American community as being unable to do normal tasks that they can do easily. Like, oh, they can't get an ID to vote. That's racism because they're not smart enough. Let's help them out. Let's do this to equalize the playing field because they're not equal to us. It's the most disgusting thing ever, and they get away with it. Where when you're a Republican, you're like, all right, you want to be equal? You're equal. There you go.
Well, you have to remember that you have to remember that the preface of all of that, Aaron, is the compassion, right? The compassion shields the bigotry. That's exactly how it works. It's sort of like, like putting your right hand in front of your left hand, and the right hand that you're showing shows compassion while your bigotry sits in the background. Because all you're saying to yourself is like, look, I'm not saying that you're less than us. I'm just saying that you don't have the same opportunities as us. That's why you need the help. And then when you hear it, it's like, yeah, we need help. And then you keep repeating that mantra over and over again. After a while, people start becoming very sycophantic to that ideal. I've talked to more people in my lifetime who are black who have repeated the same nonsense that's promoted by this. It was like, well, we don't have that many opportunities. I was like, who told you that? I'm going, well, you don't. I'm like, how do you know those things? And they would go, well, that's just commonplace. I'm like, no, it's not commonplace. That's what you were led to believe. You were indoctrinated to believe that you are in this position. And I try to but you can't push back on it, because if you push back on it, you are less compassionate. And that's the overarching theme to all of that you're talking about. Is that having a difference of opinion in that mantra means you are not compassionate to their woes.
And go against them, and then see what happens.
Yeah, indeed. Exactly.
If you get off the reservation, if you get off the plantation and start thinking for yourself, then see how they treat you.
Oh, exactly.
Then they don't even know how to handle it.
I've never heard
The
more.
other thing I would say too,
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The overwhelming issue with, I would say, Black America in our country right now is that we have a cultural disconnect.
Yes.
Essentially, we're running fatherless households and promoting that. We promote music that's all about shoot 'em up, sleep with as many women as you can, deal as many drugs as you can, make the money while you can, and that's promoted, and that's put on a pedestal.
Yeah, well, because everything else is being a square.
Creating this criminal mentality.
Yeah, well, that's because you have to think about it on this side, Aaron. It's like everything else counter to that is being a square. I've made this argument over and over again. It's like, it's incredible that you cannot give away the idea of education to a community without it being smeared as trying to be white, right? So a matter of speech, right? I've got more people who tell me that my syntax is against what my skin color is, which then makes me abnormal and a square, right? So in essence, to ingratiate myself in the crowd, I have to either sound ignorant or have no grasp of the English language, which makes no sense to me when you're saying to me that in order to be, I guess, authentic in the black community, I have to diminish myself to its base, or it's absolute minuscule levels, and it fathers me, but it is.
That's been designed since the 70s. Like that's been commonplace.
Exactly.
Since the war on poverty started, that's been the design to keep people oppressed and keep them in that mentality where they're a victim. That victimhood mentality keeps them where they're at.
Yeah, exactly.
Once people figure that out, like you have, you can then step away from it and you can win.
Oh yeah, and you know what happens?
Learn how to win. You don't have control.
And I always say that's a key part of this, Aaron. And thank you for the call, man. I appreciate you. A key part of all of this is what I just said about the envy, right? So if you step out of that mindset, you're a sellout, right? And if you stay in that mindset, then you're authentic. Because it's not for you to step away and do for yourself. It's not for you to step away and actually do something that is productive in your own life, get an education or get a career or join some particular, whatever the case may be. That's not acceptable. But to sit and wallow in that constant victimhood, to sit and wallow in that constant, we're always put down, or we're always going to be poor, or we're always going to be left behind, and the constant theme of screaming at those who do have and being a have-not to scream at the haves, that is what's considered authentic. Doing for yourself, on the other hand, that's a sellout mentality. I've told people this, and I've told people in the black community over and over again, and I know they listen to this program, is that this idea that it's noble to be poor, noble to be uneducated, noble or authentic to be a victim is only going to do you what it does for you today, constant frustration. And if you think that you're going to get me to join your side by, the ridicule and all that, it's not, save it. I'm not jealous of anybody. I'm not jealous of what anybody else has. I only care about what I have. And I want more. We got to take a break. We'll come back. More news, more views. And I got to announce a guest who's going to be on the program tomorrow, another African-American Republican who's running in the 5th District. We'll talk about him in a bit when we get back. So stick around. It's more news, more views. It's we got to go to weather and traffic with Jason Caterina and Mark Christopher's in the BPS Traffic Center. And I think he's back now. He's good to go. Right, Mark?
That's correct, Reese. Thank you very much. Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon, everyone. And if you are heading in toward Hartford right now, on the southbound side of I-91, you're going to see some slow traffic as you move 33 down to 32A and B. On the northbound side of 91, that's moving well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 tied up, approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 46 Sisson Avenue. Eastbound 84 slows about a half mile before 46 Sisson Avenue into the tunnel. 291 through 84 okay. 2 westbound slowing as you merge with 84 West in East Hartford. If you're heading into Middletown, 9 northbound delays Harbor Park to the Aragoni Bridge. 950 northbound Parkway, you've got some slow traffic by 68 and an E. Westbound 84 in Newtown slows 11 to 10. Eastbound 84 is tied up from 9 in Newtown to 11 in Newtown. And southbound 95 New Haven tight 46 to 44. Southbound Parkway, you've got delays from 60 into the West Rock Tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
A heat advisory remains in effect all the way through Wednesday evening. Heat index values this afternoon between 95 and 100 degrees, then up to 103 over the next couple of afternoons. So for the rest of our Monday afternoon, sun, a few clouds, the high of 94. Mainly clear, warm, and humid tonight, the low only down to 68. Then on our Tuesday, mostly sunny. We're going to break the record set in 1933 with the high up to 98. Wednesday, a very hot day, the high back to 98. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Making sense of it all and having fun. That's how we would sum up our show. Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. It's what happens when you take a Gen Xer, a millennial, and a baby boomer and give them a radio show.
We go through the news the same way you and your friends would, taking the serious stuff seriously while also laughing at the absurd.
Each one of us brings a unique perspective to the news of the day, closing the generation gap in a way no other talk show can. Hear Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins weeknights 6 until 9 on WTIC News Talk 1080.
And now, a WTIC news update.
91 degrees at 4:30. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. Heat advisory in effect. Highs in the upper 90s tomorrow and Wednesday. At least 2 people were killed and at least 3 more wounded after a shooting at the Grand Sierra Resort in Reno, Nevada. It happened just outside the building this morning. The male shooter was apparently shot by security and is in custody. The state medical examiner says Plainville firefighter Ray Moreau died of blunt force trauma to the head, neck, torso, and extremities, and rules the death an accident. State police say he was struck by equipment that fell off a truck during a fire response yesterday. Moreau being recognized for his 35 years as a volunteer firefighter by residents like Beth Abramo.
It shows what a human being he was, how kind he was to do that, and to do it for Plainville, and to see his picture down by City Hall. It just brings tears to my eyes.
The audio from WFSB. A public ceremony for Moreau is set for 7 p.m. tomorrow at Plainville High School. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has downplayed the severity of the hunger crisis in Gaza. Experts, though, say there's no doubt about the devastation. Kate Phillips-Barrasso is with Mercy Corps.
Catastrophic is the right word, with zero exaggeration to describe the situation. I think this is probably one of the most extreme situations that I've worked on in 20 years of humanitarian assistance.
President Trump is urging Israel to make sure food reaches the people of Gaza. Speaking in Scotland, Trump also said he will shorten the 50-day deadline he gave Russian leader Vladimir Putin to reach a deal to end the war in Ukraine. As part of an investigation launched in 2020, the DOJ has shut down a series of dark web child sex abuse sites.
According to the court filings reviewed by CBS News, the global network on those sites had 120,000 members and millions of images, and on one day, 100,000 visits to just one of these dark websites. That's how pervasive these images are. The Department of Justice has secured convictions of 18 people. Could be more coming.
CBS's Scott McFarland reporting. The state suspends the lottery license of a convenience store in Milford. The Department of Consumer Protection says Gulf Convenience on Gulf Street was selling cannabis without a license. Agents were first drawn there by reports of the store selling tobacco and vape products to minors. Wall Street, the Dow down 64 points. S&P closed up 1 point. The NASDAQ was up 70. Sports, Red Sox in Minnesota on WTIC. Pregame at 6:40. Yankees host Tampa Bay. The Mets at San Diego. And the WNBA, the Connecticut Sun hosting Seattle. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Mager. WTIC 1080 News.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Feel like everything's doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Out here in the middle of these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on Earth. That's how it feels when you're struggling with your mental health. But you don't have to feel alone. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
If something happens to you, what happens to your family? Will they struggle financially? Will they be able to afford the home you built together? With Ethos, you can get life insurance coverage in minutes. Get up to $2 million in coverage for as little as $2 a day. All online with no medical exam. Just answer a few health questions. Get your free quote at ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life. Rates may vary. Billed monthly. Sample rate 10-year term life policy for a 35-year-old healthy non-smoking male.
Stay locked in. Reese on the Radio is on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Getting back to your phone calls in a little bit. Stand by for that. 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. We got plenty of other news and views to get into, especially this Hartford resistance that's going on the 31st. Apparently, it's happening at the Riverside Park Pedestrian Bridge. Folks, be careful at these things. If this gets a bunch of people on that bridge, please be careful. I would never get with a bunch of people to protest standing on a bridge. Just wouldn't. I just wouldn't, okay? Construction purposes. Please be careful if you're thinking about going to this thing. Just really, I'm just saying. I'm already afraid of heights. I would never, ever do it. Just please be careful if you're going there. And again, I'm saying that to even liberals who want to fight against the regime. Please be careful. All right? You get too much weight on that thing, please be careful. Also, tomorrow at 4 o'clock, we're going to speak to community leader, youth mentor, and lifelong Connecticut resident. That's how he told me to introduce him. Jonathan DeBarros is going to be on the program. He's running to represent the 5th District against Joanna Hayes. So if you want to check that out, please do. We're going to see if we can talk to him for about an hour tomorrow about what he's doing. He just came back from the White House not too long ago. We'll talk about his visit there as well. So he's going to be joining us. A lot of people were telling me, he's like, yo, you need to get this guy on. So I reached out as soon as I got word. And we talked for a little bit, so he'll be on the program tomorrow. We'll all get to know him and see if we can help this guy out. So, again, that is Jonathan DeBarros. He's going to be on the program tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Also coming up, there is this article about, it's the Wall Street Journal poll numbers. There's some very, very interesting things that Chris Matthews said that I played earlier in the headlines, but there are some other polling data that needs to be discussed as well. So we'll get into that and so much more. Mamdani's got some controversy going on about this wedding event that happened in Uganda, which just, I actually believe this from the bottom of my heart. It may be the momentum is starting to shift against Mamdani. This distance between the primary and the election in November, that may be too much time for Mamdani to actually stay in the lead. We'll talk about that as well when we return. So stand by. Your phone calls, of course, are next on Reese on the Radio. Let's get some weather and traffic again with Jason Catarinas and Mark Christophers in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Pretty good ride around Hartford right now. Southbound 91 just a little slow at 33 Jennings Road. If you're northbound 91, moving very well. Cromwell up to the Bradley Connector and Windsor Locks. Westbound 84 slows. East Hartford approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush. 84 eastbound slowing from 44 Prospect Oakwood down to the tunnel in Hartford. 291, 384, OK, 2 eastbound moving well. Glastonbury into Marlboro. If you are heading into Middletown, 9 northbound a little slow at the Aragoni Bridge. 84 westbound slowing at the Mixmaster in Waterbury. 84 westbound in Newtown delays from 11 down to exit 8 in Danbury. 84 eastbound, some tight traffic from 8 out to exit 10 in Newtown. 95 southbound New Haven's tight, 46 down to 44. And southbound Parkway delays from 60 in Hamden down into the West Rock Tunnel. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Well, it is going to be hot and humid the next couple of days with heat advisory in effect all the way until Wednesday. Heat index values the next couple afternoons could be as high as 102. Mainly clear, warm, and humid tonight, the low 68. Mostly sunny, very hot for us during the day on Tuesday. In fact, we're going to break the record from way back in 1933 with the high at 98. Little respite from the heat overnight, partly cloudy, warm and humid Tuesday night, the low down to 71. Then very hot on Wednesday. We're going to tie the record on Wednesday from 1988. We'll get thunderstorm in spots late afternoon, the high back to 98. Not nearly as hot Thursday. Still humid, though. A couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm, the high 82 on Thursday. Then Friday, much cooler still, periods of rain in the morning, cloudy, the high of 73. Then a beautiful day Saturday to kick off the weekend, sunny to partly cloudy, pleasant, the high of 80. Right now, it is in 94 in Meriden. It's 81 with a breeze off the water in New London, 90 Mansfield, and 90 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Viking, dedicated to creating travel experiences for the thinking person, with programs designed for cultural enrichment on board and on shore. Discover more at Viking.com. That's Viking.com. Viking.com.
How did you get your tripping breakers fixed so fast?
ALO Home Services. Same day electrical. I gave them a call and they had a technician on their way. They even sent the technician's real-time location so I knew when they would be here.
Did you say same day? That's crazy.
If you need same-day electrical, call, click, or text today and say hello, ALO. Call for details. Licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P102776688, S104062441, S3308699, SM3004646, E1185643.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Now is the perfect time to start on your next success. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 13th. An accredited state university, University of Maryland Global Campus offers online and hybrid courses. Plus, you can earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits towards a master's. Learn more at ec.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chevy.
The self-proclaimed love child of Rush Limbaugh.
They're running a strange program, y'all.
Reese on the radio on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
All right, let's go through the motions here. Anybody and everybody has got a comment. Let's go to White Mike in Florida. What's going on, sir?
Hey, man, so this Sydney Sweeney controversy has me kind of befuddled. Are these people trying to put 10 toes on the ground and tell me that she doesn't have good genes?
Which, again, even Roland said it earlier. It's like, she's got good genes. You can't deny it. I mean, whether you don't understand the double entendre or not, she's a beautiful woman.
I mean, good grief. Like, we all know there's some people who hit the genetic lottery. We see them. I mean, Chris Hemsworth exists.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. I don't think, like I said, I think that this was one of those things where they thought they had their Bud Light moment, right? This is just sort of like an antithesis of the Dylan Mulvaney thing, that protesters are trying to get American Eagle to face some sort of backlash. But I was like, look, they're dealing with an audience base, American Eagle is, for that matter, is dealing with an audience base that will only further promote it because of Sydney Sweeney. Now guys will be buying those jeans for their girlfriends, and girls will be running to buy the jeans, which will only make them a powerhouse after the fact. Bud Light suffered, Target suffered, because they were catering to a base that doesn't purchase their products.
Well, and it's a really smart campaign because the jeans they chose to put her in were kind of loose, like boyfriend jeans.
Yes.
So the average woman sees that, and she's not intimidated by Sydney Sweeney's perfect peach.
Right, which I thought was interesting, that they didn't go the usual Beyonce or other jean routes where they promote the rear end. They didn't do that. I was like, oh, she's wearing kind of loose-fitting jeans. I was like, but it's still, it's tasteful and attractive.
And another thing about that community that wants to have like all white people or whatever
Yes.
in rural Ozarks, Missouri.
Yes.
Well, hey, I'm still waiting for someone to show me an example, and don't piss anybody off, but a place that got better, the more black folk moved in.
I'm not going to lie. No, I can't even say it. Because if I say it, Bill Clinton going to Harlem, it did improve Harlem. I'm not going to.
Dude, I gave my AI that question this weekend. I was like, hey, can you find me a place that, the crime went down and GDP went up when it shifted from majority white to majority black? And AI came back and said, I got nothing for you, son.
Your AI would have exactly said that. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
You got it. Let's go to Jim's in Waterbury. How are you, Jim?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. What do you got?
Yeah, I don't know if you're aware of it, but there's this 100-year-old Iwo Jima veteran, Don Graves.
Okay.
He just cut a big record deal in Nashville. The man fought on, he was in the third wave on Iwo Jima, and he was on the flamethrower. They usually had a very short life expectancy.
Wow.
But he's got all his faculties mentally and physically, and he remembers all his experience. And he wrote a record with another fellow from Nashville, and Lee Greenwood flew him in from Michigan. They sang it to him on his 100th birthday.
What's the name of the artist again?
Well, the veteran's name is Don Graves, and Lee Greenwood sings. They flew him from Michigan to sing the song to him on his 100th birthday. But he tells all of his experience, and he promised God that if he got out of there, he'd serve him. Now, it took a few years till he got his act together, but he became a minister and served 36 years on the pulpit. But it's a really great story and he was saying after the battle was over, all the ships in the harbor were ringing bells, blowing the horns, cheering. But he tells the whole history of when he was on Iwo Jima.
I'm looking at it now. Is it Sands of Iwo Jima?
No, it's called Sand on Iwo Jima is the name of the song.
Okay. Okay. You'll
find it on your phone. Just look up veteran
literally,
Don Graves.
literally have it right in front of me. It was the first thing that came up when I popped in his name. Thank you, Jim. We'll actually check it out.
Yeah, maybe you can get him on a show. Who knows?
Why not? I appreciate you, sir.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Thank you, sir.
Have a blessed day.
Thank you. You too. Let's go to Tommy. Tom's in Thomaston. How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm well, thanks. Yeah, I believe those guys with the flamethrowers were targeted. They had like a 12 or 20-minute life expectancy.
Wow.
Because the enemy, one shot to those tanks and it just exploded.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Reese, I'm glad you're having that guy for the fifth in. But first, I have a question. I'm almost positive you're going to know the answer. I just found out about this guy when I saw a YouTube video of him. Do you know who the white James Brown was?
Ooh, no.
Oh, no?
No.
Wait, have you ever heard of Wayne Cochran?
Okay.
He was in the group the CC Riders.
Huh.
I saw the video. He sang the Harlem Shuffle, and I swear to God, Reese, I swear Michael Jackson had to be influenced by this guy because he did a moonwalk on one foot. It was insane, and he sang just like James Brown. They called him, I guess, the white Godfather or the white James Brown.
I'm looking him up now. It's literally sitting in front of me.
Are you looking at that big?
The bouffant hairdo. My goodness, this guy he almost looks like a character, like an over-exaggerated white version of James Brown. Now I have to watch this.
Yeah. Or he looks like the Beavis and Butthead hairdo, right?
Yes.
But listen to his song. He's a good singer. I never heard of him. Never.
I'm going to check him out now. I promise. I'll do that during the commercial break. Thank you, boss.
Yeah. Hey.
Yes.
On the guy for the fifth. I just heard a minute of him on another show once a week or so ago.
Uh-huh.
He's got have you ever heard of it? He's got a lot of ideas, just like you, Reese.
He does.
Sounds really good.
I've gone over everything that the guy's ever produced, like in the last day or so.
And I was like, wow, this is Reese running for office. Hey, speaking of the 5th District,
yes.
Are you thinking at all of maybe moving into the 5th District area?
I had thought of that. I had Avon was one of the places that were on the
yeah, go north. Go Torrington and north. You don't
Okay.
want Avon or Canton.
Okay.
Go Torrington and north.
I will
Goshen.
definitely consider some places. It's not going to happen immediately. Like I'm going to stay temporarily immediately in Farmington, in the Farmington region, and then I'm going to start expanding into where I'm going to live. So,
Good.
But I will definitely take care of it. Thank you, Tom. Let's go one more. I'm going to take let's take Dan calling in Connecticut. How are you, Dan?
Good. How you doing today?
What's up, sir?
Hey, I just want you one of these days to do a show. I want you to look back and see where the insanity of the transgender movement kind of started.
Okay.
And in my opinion, I think it started with Rachel Dolezal when the black community didn't completely come out and riot against her for being a white Irish girl who thought she was black.
Okay, you bring
Being
up a
trans black.
You bring up a very, very good point in our history.
It kept going where the trans everything community from that, I think that was the nexus of she was trans black and nobody went crazy.
Let me explain to you why you're pulling the right thread on this thing. That I would always say that was what we call the test launch of being trans anything. And what was really, really crazy about it was this idea that the reason why Rachel Dolezal could not be admonished, because she started to, you bring a very good point. When it was revealed that Rachel Dolezal was indeed white, there were some outlets like Ebony and, what was the other? Essence magazine. These black magazines were actually doing negative articles about her. But then something switched. And someone started suggesting that Rachel Dolezal's, let's say, want to need to be identified as black was a positive thing. And then the scrutiny sort of laid off, right? It's sort of like a little bit of it died out. Then she was universally accepted everywhere in black communities. And I think that you're on the right track because Sean Luther King, which that's why I called him, his name is Sean King, but Sean Luther King, who wrote for the New York Daily News, he was the other one that turned out that he was identifying as black. And these were good things that white folks who had grown up white were identifying with African Americans, and this was a net positive for African Americans sort of, screaming their grievance that they had white sympathizers, which goes right back into that's what every movement needs, is the antithesis to show sympathy, and then you protect them so they get that protection. But I think you're on the right track that may be the beginning. But what really happened with the transgender movement and why it's there, I'm sure that played a role, but I think there was something bigger in all of that as to why it was allowed.
Probably.
And I'm not sure exactly if it's universally accepted for that reason, but I don't know. I just think that there's a little bit of that, but I think Rachel Dolezal was definitely a nexus.
Yeah, and this new promotion, it's in her genes.
Yeah,
I think that should be taken seriously. It should be right. It's in your genes.
Right.
That's where you go to the bathroom. You got it. You go there. You got the other. You go there.
That's a good point.
Genes.
That is a great point,
right.
Dan. It is in your genes, whether you're male or female. It's in your genes.
Maybe that's what they're trying to get at.
Maybe maybe that's what they're trying. They're trying to push back on. It's a good point. Yeah.
Because in both sets of your genes, you have XXXY chromosomes.
That's right.
And you have something put in your genes that says you're male or female. So maybe somebody's doing a subliminal little thing there to try to get people to wake up a little bit.
Good point. Thank you, Dan. Much appreciated.
Yeah.
That is a
Have a
good
day.
You got it. That's a really, really good angle. I actually like that angle. Yeah, but like I said, this is one of those things where you never know what you're getting into until you get into it. So you get one guy who goes viral or one girl who goes viral on protesting this thing. And then it gets all the attention that sort of certifies what you believe, right? Everyone's like, yeah, you're right. Absolutely. I'm going to share this with my friends. And then it grows and grows and grows and grows and grows. And the intended audience, they all get it. So then the news media, they look at it and they go, hey, this subject is starting to see a swell. Let's promote it on our outlets. So they start. And then the other side sees it. And then they go, hey, who are they talking about? Sydney Sweeney. I like that girl. Oh, what's this controversy? Oh, they have a problem with it. Okay. That's how the Chick-fil-A thing started. That's how it started. They turned around and said, you know what? We're going to turn this into a protest. And then turned around, people said, protesting Chick-fil-A, I love that place. Nah. And then they counter it. So sometimes things get too big for their britches, and it has to get chopped down. That's why I'm telling you, this Sydney Sweeney thing, it got too big and out of the control of the people who are trying to turn it into something. So it's going to backfire. I doubt this is going to hurt American Eagle. I truly do. I doubt it will ever hurt them. People are going to jump on this like crazy. When we come back, I got to play this audio from Harry Enton. Now, think about this. We're being told that Donald Trump is underwater everywhere and that the midterms are at stake. But these polling numbers that are coming out of the Wall Street Journal paint a completely different story. And they've prompted the likes of Chris Matthews, formerly of NBC, to say this, something he would never say on NBC, Morning Joke, or any one of those programs. He said this on a podcast with Charlie Rose, formerly of CBS News. He got Me Too'd. Here's what he said about Donald Trump.
To be honest with you, the country is moving towards Trump. I mean, these polls that come out and show him not doing well, I don't buy that. I think his strength is still greater than the Democratic strength. He is a stronger public figure than the Democratic people. I mean, Obama still has tremendous charisma, but Trump has strength. And I think that's what all voters look for. But they want a president who is a strong figure. And he's got it. And he can, it's just there. And half the country buys it.
He's right. That number is growing, and it's going to grow even further. So, I just asked one simple question. I thought about this the other night. Democrats, what's your policy on anything? Anything on improving the lives of Americans? Can you say it without using the term health care for all? Like, what's your policy? Anything. Just name it. You can't come up with nothing. It's nothing. Anyway, we'll take a break. More news, more views when we come back, and more of this audio. Let's get to Jason Caterina with weather and Mark Christopher's at the BPS Traffic Center. How we doing, sir?
We're doing pretty good, Reese. Southbound 91 coming into Hartford. Look for slow traffic now as you move from 33 down to 32 A and B. A little slow again down by exit 28. Northbound 91's moving very well. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 slowing Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush Avenue. 84 eastbound of slow traffic approaching 46 into the tunnel. 291 through 84 okay. 2 eastbound's okay. Glastonbury into Marlboro. If you're heading into Middletown, 9 northbound slowing approaching the Aragoni Bridge. Westbound 84 some slow traffic from 22 to the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound you'll see some slow traffic 3 to 5 in Danbury again from exit 10 in Newtown out to 11 in Newtown. And southbound Parkway, some slow traffic, 60 in Hamden into the West Rock Tunnel. 95 southbound slowing 46 to 43 in West Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Brought to you by Staples.
Calling all parents and teachers. At Staples, your back-to-school budget is officially saved by the button. The easy button. With supplies as low as 25 cents. Plus laptops are up to 40% off and more deals on top brands and trending styles. Find it all at Staples. That was easy.
WTIC weather.
A heat advisory remains in effect all the way through Wednesday evening. Heat index values this afternoon between 95 and 100 degrees, then up to 103 over the next couple of afternoons. So for the rest of our Monday afternoon, sun, a few clouds, the high of 94. Mainly clear, warm, and humid tonight, the low only down to 68. Then on our Tuesday, mostly sunny. We're going to break the record set in 1933 with the high up to 98. Wednesday, a very hot day, the high back to 98. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Follow WTIC News Talk 1080. Don't miss out on important updates in Connecticut. From breaking need to know news, weather alerts, and more. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app now. WTIC is celebrating 100 years on the air and 100 years of serving Connecticut. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
91 degrees, 5 o'clock. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. Heat advisory in effect. Low around 70 tonight, then potentially record-setting heat.
Mostly sunny, very hot on Tuesday. We're going to break the record from 1933 with a high up to 98. Still very hot Wednesday, tying the record from 1988. Sun gives way to clouds. There'll be a thunderstorm in spots late afternoon.
That's AccuWeather's Jason Caterina. The state medical examiner says Plainville firefighter Ray Moreau died of blunt force trauma to the head, neck, torso, and extremities and rules the death an accident. State police say he was struck by equipment that fell off a truck during a fire response yesterday morning. The 60-year-old was a volunteer firefighter for 35 years. Community members are grieving.
Once I saw the update, it was just very heartbreaking, because your community's hurting.
The audio from WFSB, a ceremony will be held tomorrow night at Plainville High School. Officials in New Haven say an 18-year-old student at Wilbur Cross High School was seized by ICE last week. He's in detention in Massachusetts. Mayor Justin Illiker.
What world are we in right now when ICE picks up a mom in front of her 2 children as she's going to school to bring them to school, and now ICE is picking up a junior in high school and deporting them? It's just shocking.
Appearing in Scotland, President Trump called on Israel to ensure desperately needed food reaches Gaza, even though Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has downplayed the severity of the hunger crisis.
Asked if he agrees with Netanyahu.
I don't know. I mean, based on television, I would say not particularly, because those children look very hungry.
And the president's urging him to do something.
I want them to make sure they get the food.
It appears to be a recalibration of the president's stance on Gaza and comes as he met in Scotland with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer.
People in Britain are revolted at seeing what they're seeing on their screens.
The president says the U.S., UK, and others will set up food centers in Gaza, while again complaining America has not been given enough credit for organizing past aid.
Israel is now allowing more airdrops, but in Gaza, UNICEF spokesperson Ricardo Pires says it's simply not enough.
Every aid coming through is very welcome at this point, but airdrops are proven not to be the most cost-effective and safe option to deliver aid at scale, which is what needed right now in Gaza. 650 days plus of absolute horror for children on the ground.
At least 2 people were killed and at least 3 more wounded after a shooting at the Grand Sierra Resort in Reno, Nevada. It happened just outside the building this morning. The gunman apparently shot by security and is in custody. Federal judge says Medicaid must continue to reimburse Planned Parenthood clinics nationwide.
The judge in the case, Indira Talwani in Boston, granted Planned Parenthood a permanent injunction blocking the government from cutting Medicaid payments to Planned Parenthood clinics that don't provide abortion care. Today's order replaces a preliminary injunction she granted last week. Under the ruling, patients can continue to use Medicaid for non-abortion related services like birth control and cancer screenings at Planned Parenthood health centers, and those centers can continue to be reimbursed by Medicaid for the services provided.
CBS's Christopher Cruz. A man on a motorcycle is in ICU at Hartford Hospital after a late morning crash outside a McDonald's in Meriden. Police say the driver of a Honda CR-V exited the McDonald's parking lot without yielding. The biker crashed into it and was thrown from the motorcycle, suffering serious injuries. Initial distribution went well. Now the state's pizza license plate is going wider. It benefits Connecticut Food Share, which needs the help, especially because of federal cuts to food assistance. So far, they're 35 trailer loads of food short this year. Here's CEO Jason Jacobowski.
That puts a lot of pressure on us. It puts a lot of pressure on our donors, and it puts a lot of pressure on the grocery stores here in Connecticut. But thankfully, they step up to the plate. The unfortunate reality is that even in a wealthy state like Connecticut, hunger is on the rise. 11% increase over the last year.
License plate has a pizza graphic on it, the Connecticut Food Share logo, and the words "The Pizza State." You can get yours at ctfoodshare.org/pizza plate. On Wall Street, the Dow was down 64, S&P climbed 1 point, NASDAQ was up 70 points. Sports, Red Sox in Minnesota on WTIC, pregame at 6:40. Yankees host Tampa Bay, the Mets at San Diego, and the WNBA, the Connecticut Sun hosting Seattle. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
Low testosterone affects many men, even men as young as 30. But finding someone you can trust for quality low T treatment isn't so easy. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, a Promedic restorative health practice. And that's why I'm pleased to announce the opening of our newest location of Northeast Men's Health right here in Warwick. As a Promedic affiliate, Northeast Men's Health has the experience and expertise to get you the right treatment for your particular medical situation. At Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating low testosterone. In fact, we've successfully treated thousands of men for low T and have seen the amazing impacts low T treatments have. If you're like most men, you'll sleep better, have more energy and improve mental clarity, get better gains in the gym, and your sex drive will likely improve as well. So call us. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the Northeast to serve you.
The hour that packs a punch. It's Reese on the Radio on WTIC News Talk 1080.
I am not going to begin to tell you the amount of hate I am getting for certain areas in Connecticut. Gosh, you people are ruthless. You're ruthless. I don't know where you are. I haven't even told anybody where I'm trying to move. I'm just renting. I don't know where it's going to be. People are concerned about where I'm going to go. To be honest with you, I would rather not take an apartment. If somebody had like a house that they had for rent, like something small, like person to person I could deal with, that would be perfect because then it'd be quiet. I don't have to deal with a whole bunch of other mess, but that's neither here nor there. We'll talk about that at another time. It's 5 o'clock, and I got to do it, folks. I do it every day at 5. It's Hollywood news, and I've only got about a minute. So yours truly went to go see the new Marvel film, The Fantastic Four. And I got to tell you, folks, it was damn well better than that Superman garbage. Way better. It had some holes and some plot stuff in it, but I will say this for those of you who love the Marvel films like I do. I know all of you don't. I'm just going to say briefly, they did the Galactus character justice. It wasn't hokey or campy or anything like that. It was actually a pretty good job. I didn't walk out of there disappointed. So it's a good film and watch it if you like these movies and you want to go see something. Go maybe watch a matinee. You'll enjoy this about an hour, maybe just under 2 hours. It's worth the watch if you like them. But I'm really, really excited to see what happens next. So I give it, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm giving it a 7.5. Let's get to Jason Katarina and Mark Christopher, who doesn't even bother to go see film, so this rating means nothing to him. He's in the BPS Traffic Center. You ever watch, I know you've seen the Iron Man movie at least.
Nope.
No, so you really no interest in the Marvel? You weren't a comic book kid growing up?
No.
Really?
No.
You're that guy.
I chased the ball.
Oh, okay.
Basketball,
Can I
baseball,
I'm going to tell you this real quick. Do you know that I invented Audible?
Did you?
I invented it. You want to know how? Because I had a friend, Jamie Montgomery, who loved to read comic books, and I was the only person with money who had a job. So I would buy the comic book, give it to him. He would read the book and then tell me about it.
Oh,
see?
Well, even better. That saves
Amazon
you were
Audible.
Working, you didn't have a lot of free time, so
exactly. So I didn't want to read it. So I give it to him. He'd read it, and then he'd read it to me and tell me what happened. I invented it.
This sounds like something Seinfeld would do.
It's real. I did.
This sounds like an episode of Seinfeld.
It totally
honestly. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound 91 delays 33 to 32. Not a major backup at all. South of downtown, a little slow by 28. Looks real good. 91 northbound. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is tight.
That's the same rating I gave my wife.
Shady for eastbound is a little slow. 48 Capitol Avenue into the tunnel. You'll slow a little bit again.
Oh, you went to go see it this weekend?
84 eastbound.
No, I said that's the same rating I gave my wife.
7.5?
Yeah.
Eastbound slowing in Waterbury 22 to the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound in Danbury slowing 3 to 5. Again, some slow traffic in Danbury 8 out to
that's
11
messed
in
up. I
Newtown.
literally couldn't breathe
Southbound
after
Parkway
you-
slowing 6. New Haven 46 down to 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
She gets up to 8.5 when she dresses up.
Here, heat advisory remains in effect all the way until Wednesday evening for us. So for tonight, little relief from the heat the next couple of nights either. Mainly clear, warm, and humid. The low down to 68. Mostly sunny. We're going to break the record on Tuesday from 1933, the high all the way up to 98. Then partly cloudy, warm, and humid on Tuesday night. The low only down to 71. Wednesday, very hot. We're going to tie the record Wednesday from 1988. A thunderstorm in spots late afternoon that could bring some localized damaging wind gusts and some flooding downpours. 98 again Wednesday, then not nearly as hot Thursday. Still humid, couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm, the high 82. Friday, periods of rain in the morning, the high 73. Beautiful Saturday to kick off the weekend. Sunny to partly cloudy and pleasant, the high of 80. Right now, it is 88 in Waterbury, 91 in Danbury, 89 in Mansfield, with a 91-degree reading in Hartford, and the dew point at 69. That puts the heat index at 96 right now in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Jason Caterina in the WTIC Weather Center.
It's summertime. If you're between the ages of 17 and 25, now's the time to check your wisdom teeth. Impacted wisdom teeth can cause a lot of unnecessary pain. So let Columbia Dental remove them sooner than later. Call 860-645-0111.
Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort, offering small ship experiences with a shore excursion included in every port and programs designed for cultural enrichment. Discover more at Viking.com. That's Viking.com.
Join us this Sunday for Tumalo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune into the father-son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumalo Financial, retirement planning with integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
At Aiello Home Services, we love the opportunity of meeting our customers' pets. That's why we partnered with the Pack Leaders Rescue of East Hartford and the Wallingford Animal Shelter to help animals find the homes they deserve. To help these animals and fix your home's plumbing, heating, AC, electrical, or drains, call, click, or text and say hello, Aiello, call for details. Licensed for safety. HIC 628926, P1027768, S10406241, S3 308699, SM 3004646, E1 185643.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio.
1 minute.
Protection himself, Chris
Yes, sir.
Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install a Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
Leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
Reese on the Radio is getting ready to drop some knowledge on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Drop it.
All right, we are back. Reese on the Radio, News Talk 1080 WTIC. I'll get to the phones in a second, but I want to read a couple of comments that are, rolling around here. Stevie V says, well, Reese, perhaps you did invent it. However, did you know that Mayor Fiorello LaGuardia of New York used to read the Sunday comics on the radio? I am aware of that. It's one of the things that I do know about Fiorello LaGuardia in New York. But my response to you is, yes, I knew that about him, but I was the first person to pay for a book to be read to me. So technically, I invented the audiobook. Just saying. I bought the book to have it read to me. That's exactly what happened. In buying the comic book and giving it to James Montgomery for him to recite what was in the book, that's the audiobook right there. That's the entire idea. First to do it, 1985. Just pointing it out. That's all I'm saying. Also, Robert B. writes, so Sydney Sweeney would look good in a trash bag pushing her shopping cart full of cans and camping gear. The left's choice would make me cross the street in the same attire. Couldn't agree with you more. That's Robert B. Sending me an instant message about Sydney Sweeney. So what are you going to say? We'll get to your phone calls in a second. Stand by, 860-522-WTIC. As you know, the Wall Street Journal has a new poll out that says that 33% of Democrats are approving of their party. And they've got a bunch of people who are screaming and hollering about how they're going to be able to win the midterm elections, the Democrats for that matter. And there's just no way that they can, because this polling data that I'm looking at is astronomically bad. Let's run through a couple before we play the audio here. On the economy, the GOP is plus 12. On inflation, the GOP is plus 10. On immigration, the GOP is plus 17. On illegal immigration, the GOP is plus 24. On tariffs, plus 7. On foreign policy, plus 8. Plus Ukraine and Russia war, even though they've not been able, Donald Trump has not been able to put it to an end, they are still plus 5. Plus 5. And by the way, this goes beyond the margin of error of 2.5. Their lowest rating for the GOP is plus 5 on the Ukraine-Russia war. That's where it sits right now, according to the Wall Street Journal. Harry Enton was on CNN, and he breaks it down how bad it is.
This one was a surprising one to me, given everything that's going on in Russia, what happened in Iran, what happened in Gaza. But the bottom line is Democrats in the American voters' minds cannot hack it. What are we talking about? Party trust to more on foreign policy. Well, the GOP holds an average 6-point lead in the month of July. Look at this. Fox News came out last week, plus 3 points for Republicans on foreign policy over the Democrats. You think that number is not high enough for you? How about the Wall Street Journal? GOP plus 8 points when they match congressional Democrats up against congressional Republicans. The bottom line is this. Despite everything that's going on in the world right now, Republicans are more trusted on Democrats when it comes to foreign policy and the world at large.
But let's go one step further. As I said to you before, never mind what the media is talking about. Donald Trump always has this foresight that ends up in his favor after the fact. Does anybody realize in recent memory everyone was against Donald Trump attacking Iran? Do you remember that? Everyone who was anyone told you, Donald Trump may attack Iran. We may end up in World War III. I can't believe it. No wars. Even some folks in the MAGA world, the MAGAsphere, you know, all the bloggers and the guys who have the podcast shows, remember all of them? Screaming and hollering. This president promised us he wasn't going to get us into wars. Harry Enton, how does that turn out?
What about the strikes on Iran? Because while they were being contemplated, they were not universally popular.
No, they were not universally popular. And in the immediate aftermath, they were not universally popular. Look at this. Net approval rating, U.S. airstrikes on Iran. In late June, the net approval rating, look at that, minus 8 points, underwater. But as the American people learned more and more about it, look at this, a 10-point rise. Now it's in the positive. The American people like the move that Donald Trump put on Iran, the U.S. airstrikes in Iran, a positive +2 net approval rating. So again, the bottom line is this. As the American people learn more about these airstrikes, as the American people compare Donald Trump and the Republicans against the Democrats, they see them far more favorably than you might expect.
So it only makes me go after one last topic. Now, I don't know if you remember this, but I do. Does anybody here remember when Elon Musk and Donald Trump had the falling out? Does anybody remember when that happened? It was around June 5th when Elon Musk took to his X account and said it was Donald Trump who was in the Epstein files. Does anybody remember that? June 5th. Yes, it should ring a bell. Well, do you remember what the news media had to say about Elon Musk saying that Donald Trump was in the Epstein files? Anybody? You probably don't. It's too far down the road, right? It's too back in the day for you. Just what, 2 months ago? Right? It's still way in the back of your memory. Well, let's go to the senior correspondent of CNN who does all the internet stuff over them. You probably didn't know him before, but you know him now. He's an Irish buddy named Donnie O'Sullivan. Oh, Donnie. Donnie tells everybody on CNN what the internet is raving about. I love Donnie O'Sullivan, especially his accent. Well, what did Donnie O'Sullivan have to say about Donald Trump being in the Epstein files just under 2 months ago? He said this.
I mean, when it comes to the Epstein files, Epstein lists, whatever folks want to call it, it doesn't actually matter what it is in reality. I mean, there have been names that have been associated with Jeffrey Epstein that have been released through court. Trump's name came out in documents last year, but there was absolutely no accusation of wrongdoing on Trump's part whatsoever. But his name was as somebody who knew Epstein.
What do you say? What was that you say? Yeah, so a month ago, CNN wouldn't even touch the topic because Elon Musk was talking about it, and they even reported it by their senior correspondent, Donnie O'Sullivan, who said that it means nothing. So again, 2 months ago, Donald Trump told you that it was a nothing burger. Here we are a couple of months later, and it's about to be another nothing burger. Why not trust me? Why not trust me? The reporting says it. Again, because I pay attention to it every day, you guys kind of, I don't blame you. That's why you come here. Iran. Oh, can't believe he's going to strike Iran. Strikes Iran. Oh, maybe it was a good idea. Oh, the tariffs. They're going to be horrible for people. Now, let me see. What is it that CNN is now saying about the tariffs? Let's see if we can get that right here. Here's CNN talking about the tariffs.
Trump's effort to effectively reshape the global trading order. That has been one of his central priorities since taking office in January. He's been issuing many threats of tariffs, but they clearly have been working in terms of bringing other countries, allies, and adversaries alike, in some cases, to the negotiating table. And the latest example was today here in Scotland when the leader of the European Commission, who, of course, is negotiating for the European Union, she agreed to a 15% across-the-board tariff. Now, that is significantly higher than the 10% tariffs in existence now, but it's much lower than the 30% threat that was coming on Friday and the 50% threat that was made in May. So clearly there has been an instance where the president has been using his threats of higher tariffs as a negotiating tactic, and in this case, it certainly worked. Isabel, the bottom line.
Remember? Weren't we talking about that right here? And I told everybody, take a beat. So, again, the selective outrage, the usual outrage by the news media telling you what you're supposed to be outraged about, always ends up to be, and again, no apologies, by the way. There have been no phone calls. My telephone is not run at all. Not one person has texted me, not even Timmy. He hasn't even contacted me. when he was over here screaming about the tariffs. Everybody remembers it, right? It's a tariff. It's a tax on people. What happened? Nothing. Not even an apology. Not an acknowledgement of that you don't know what you're talking about. Even CNN. Matt says, okay, Reese, you want your props? You're smarter than me. I'm not, again, it's not about being smarter than anyone. It's recognizing the outrage for what it always is. Remember, these folks, they don't have an opinion. When you watch these folks on news, their opinions are written for them. Their outrage is set up by producers and writers. There's not an honest assessment amongst them. It's someone behind the scenes saying, this is what they're talking about in the Washington Post and the New York Times. Here's what I want you to report on based upon those reports in the Washington Post and the New York Times. This is what we think people should be outraged about or what people might be saying or thinking. They're not thinking at all. They're just repeating the same mantra, what they're told. And when I see it, when I read it, I read the same papers that they do. I read the same language that they do. They literally cross-reference each other in their reporting. They sound like each other. There's no independent assessment. So as I say, give this stuff a minute. I'm just doing the obvious. I know exactly what to do when these people start reporting that stuff. Okay. Obviously, this is going to turn out the opposite way. They don't get it right. They don't have a track record. God forbid, if these folks were weathermen, if these folks had to predict the weather, they'd always get it wrong. You'd be wearing a jacket today in that scorching temperature. You'll be wearing a bubble goose like they do in the hood. At the rate that these folks are going, I wouldn't trust them with the weather. That's why we have Jason Caterina here. We'll get into that in a second. But all of this stuff, you notice that Chris Matthews, that audio that you heard of Chris Matthews saying that the country's going towards Donald Trump. Go listen to him when you see him on the morning joke the next time and see if you hear him say those words openly on the network. Not once will you hear it. Because on those networks, they're not supposed to. That's why it's making the rounds today. Chris Matthews being honest? Chris Matthews giving an honest assessment of something? Why doesn't he do that at NBC? Because he can't. Again, I mean, that's the rub. I think it's sad and awful, but, that's where you get it. We're going to preview tomorrow's show, talking about getting Lamont out. But from what people are gathering, because of his approval record, his approval numbers in the 60s, that he is going to run again. We'll talk about whether or not he's got a clear shot, if those poll numbers are accurate. But I don't think Elliott would be running against him if he thought that he'd lose. We'll talk about that tomorrow. And, of course, we'll get to more of your phone calls when we return. So get them in before we close. It's Reese on the Radio. It's 860-522-WTIC. Let's get some more news, weather, and traffic. Jason Caterina's got weather, and Mark Christopher's in the BPS Traffic Center. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading 84 eastbound into Hartford, you got delays 48 Capitol Avenue into the downtown tunnel. Look out for an accident eastbound 84 by exit 58. Looks like we have vehicles on the left and right shoulder there. So right now you're backed up to 56 Governor Street behind that and building toward the Bulkley Bridge. So look out for that. Westbound 84 is tied up approaching the Bulkley Bridge out to 45 Flatbush. Southbound 91, some slow traffic 33 down to 32 A and B. Another slowdown down by exit 28. If you're northbound 91, easy ride Cromwell up into Windsor. 291, 384, okay. 2 eastbound moving well, Glastonbury into Marlboro. Quiet Middletown, quiet Waterbury. Just a little slow Waterbury approaching the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound in Newtown, you've got slow traffic from 9 up to exit 11. And South 95 New Haven tied up from 46 down to 44 in New Haven. I'm Mark Christopher with the Light 100.5 Commuter Guide.
WTIC weather.
A heat advisory remains in effect all the way through Wednesday evening. Heat index values this afternoon between 95 and 100 degrees. then up to 103 over the next couple of afternoons. So for the rest of our Monday afternoon, sun, a few clouds, the high of 94. Mainly clear, warm, and humid tonight, the low only down to 68. Then on our Tuesday, mostly sunny. We're going to break the record set in 1933 with the high up to 98. Wednesday, a very hot day, the high back to 98. I'm meteorologist Jason Catarina in the WTIC Weather Center.
I can't get the signal. Okay, seriously. Now there's absolutely no excuse not to listen to WTIC News Talk 1080. You can literally hear us anywhere when you listen on your smartphone. And now you can hear us on the Odyssey app, the iHeartRadio app, and the TuneIn app. So pick your favorite and search and follow WTIC News Talk 1080 in the app. Then listen wherever you are. It's really that easy. So no more, I can't get the signal. We've made it easy. WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn apps.
And now, a WTIC news update.
90 degrees at 5:30. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. That heat advisory in effect until 8 p.m. on Wednesday. At least 2 people were killed and at least 3 more wounded after a shooting at the Grand Sierra Resort in Reno, Nevada. Reno Police Chief Catherine Nance.
Early this morning, about 7:25, we received a report of an active shooter in the Valet area, the GSR. We responded to the scene, and within 4 minutes, we had located the suspect.
That suspect was shot by an officer and is in custody. A man on a motorcycle in intensive care at Hartford Hospital. That's after a late morning crash outside a McDonald's in Meriden. Police say the driver of a Honda exited the McDonald's parking lot without yielding to traffic on East Main Street. The biker crashed into it, was thrown from the motorcycle, suffering serious injuries. Public ceremony, 7 p.m. tomorrow at Plainville High School in memory of volunteer firefighter Ray Moreau, who died while responding to a house fire yesterday morning.
The loss of Ray Moreau cuts like a knife at the Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection.
Commissioner Ronell Higgins says state police are investigating how a piece of a fire truck broke free, striking Moreau.
Nothing hurts more than the ultimate sacrifice that was witnessed in the town of Plainville.
State medical examiner says Moreau died of blunt force trauma to the head, neck, torso, and extremities.
I never had the privilege of going to his island.
Aid is trickling into Gaza after Israel announced a pause in operations for 10 hours a day. But observers say it's not nearly enough to feed many thousands of starving people.
Aid trucks are on the move after a sudden reversal by Israel. It announced it would enable more food and supplies to enter the Strip after pictures of hungry Gazans and malnourished children shocked the world, prompting international condemnation.
CBS's Elizabeth Palmer. Initial distribution went well. Now the state's pizza license plate is going wider. It benefits Connecticut Food Share, which needs the help, especially because of federal cuts to food assistance. So far, they're 35 trailer loads of food short this year. The license plate has a pizza graphic, the Connecticut Food Share logo, and the words, "The Pizza State." You can get yours at ctfoodshare.org/pizza plate. On Wall Street, the Dow was down 64, S&P climbed 1, the NASDAQ was up 70 points. Sports, Red Sox in Minnesota on WTIC, pregame at 6:40. Yankees host Tampa Bay. The Mets have won 7 straight. They're at San Diego. Cleveland pitcher Emmanuel Clase on paid leave as part of a Major League Baseball investigation into sports betting. WNBA Connecticut Sun hosting Seattle. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Mager. WTIC 1080 News.
Hey, it's Matt Soroyce. If you're like me, you may be feeling sluggish in these dog days of summer. And with it being so hot, you may be lacking a bit of motivation while still hanging on to some unwanted weight. That's where Awaken 180 Weight Loss has helped me the most. The one-on-one coaching you get at Awaken 180 will drive you to feeling your absolute best while giving you the energy that you've always wanted. Awaken 180 Weight Loss is the long-term solution for weight loss, and that's because they give you the tools and knowledge to control your eating while not feeling hungry and all the while still eating delicious food. Awaken 180 Weight Loss has helped over 25,000 people now lose weight for good, and they can help you too. Start today and you can be down 20, maybe even 30 pounds by the time Labor Day rolls around. So don't wait a second more. The team there is waiting for your call. Give them a call right now and make this summer the one where you feel your absolute best. Set up your free consultation today at 844-346-1800. Again, 844-346-1800, or go online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Attention, have you racked up $10 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting
Yes,
by
sir.
making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers, so don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 207-4545.
I mean, when
Once
it comes
again,
to
that's
when it comes to the Epstein files, Epstein
800-207-4545.
list,
The
whatever
Odyssey app
folks wanna
lets you
call it,
jump back to the
it
moments you
doesn't
missed from
actually matter
WTIC News Talk
what it
1080.
is in
Download the free
reality.
Odyssey app. Search WTIC News Talk 1080 and tap earlier today to get started.
All right, we are back. We've got some traffic. Of course, it's the weather coming up in a minute. And in the next break, we'll take some final phone calls before we wrap this whole puppy up. Also, as I said earlier, the Hartford Visibility Brigade is going to do what's called a rush hour resistance on the 31st at the Riverside Park Pedestrian Bridge in Hartford. And I just want to say, folks, it's very early in the morning, and, you know, I guess they're going to be a bunch of people who are going to be on the bridge on there. I don't know how many folks are going to show up. A lot of people usually do. Please, if you're going to go up on this thing, it's a bridge. It's elevated. It's dangerous for that many people to be on those bridges. Yeah, I know they're supposed to be structurally sound, but please, folks, please be careful, okay? It's just one of those things you don't want to see. I don't know exactly how structurally sound this pedestrian bridge is. But I can assure you it is not made for a bunch of people to be standing on. And I know that if this thing is going to have folks who are older, you know what I mean. Usually when you go to these protests, you'll find some people who are in their 60s, even 70s, are on there. Folks, you don't want to be on there if these lunatics are on there jumping up and down and making a ruckus. The amount of weight that's going to be on there. You don't know if it's structurally sound, so find out if it is. And if you're going to be there, just be careful. If it looks hairy, don't be on that bridge. Protest as much as possible, but this is a dangerous place to do it. I've looked at the bridge like 3 or 4 times, and I keep saying to myself, well, it is steel and stuff and, you know, concrete, but it's going to be over a highway. If something goes wrong, that it could be bad. I don't think these things are well thought out. These people are a bunch of reckless yahoos. They're just not smart. If you look at the banner, which I will not post, you know, it has a picture of someone who's supposed to be throwing something. It looks like an anarchist poster. And I know people are just so angry and outraged. Just be careful. Don't put yourself in danger with these rabble-rousers. Please be careful. Be thoughtful of yourselves. That's all I'm saying. Let's get another check of weather and traffic. All right? I'm just saying, for the good of everybody, just and yourselves. Be safe. Let's get weather and traffic. Jason Caterina's got weather. Mark Christopher is in the BPS Traffic Center. Mark, real quick, are you familiar with this Riverside Park pedestrian bridge?
Riverside Park in
Hartford.
In Hartford, Riverside. Oh yeah, that's on the north end, right on the north end,
Okay.
by the boat launch. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, so you know
it's like a
this
long bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a long bridge that takes you over 91.
Exactly. Exactly. Goes over 91.
Yep. Oh, that's a monster bridge. It's structurally sound. Definitely.
It is it?
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
So
yeah,
they shouldn't have to worry about if a lot of people are going to be on
No.
there?
No.
Okay.
No,
It
you'd be
looks
fine.
like, it just looks thin to me. I don't know why. I'm just looking at it going,
Yeah,
I know it.
it's-
I've seen it. I've
It's
been on it.
between- Yeah, it's between 33 and 32 on both sides of 91. Yeah, no, that bridge can take a lot of weight.
sure?
It'll be fine.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah. That's what I'm saying, anyways. Hey, if you're heading 84 eastbound into Hartford Reese, eastbound 84 just a little tight at you move 48 Capitol Avenue out to just prior to exit 58, Robert Street, Silver Lane. We have looks like vehicles on the left and right shoulders right at exit 58. So that's slowing you down there. Once you get around that, easy ride as you head out in toward Manchester. Now, westbound 84 tied up approaching the Boakty Bridge out to 43 Park Road in West Hartford. Traveling southbound 91, look for slow traffic 33 down to 32 A and B. No problems. 91 northbound Cromwell up into Windsor. 291, 384 looking good. 2 eastbound's okay. Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound, some slow traffic. Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 westbound tight from exit call it from exit 22 up to the Mixmaster in Waterbury. 84 eastbound Danbury slowing 3 to 5 again. 84 eastbound slowing 9 to 11 in Newtown. Southbound Parkway slowing 60 into the West Rock. 95 southbound delays 46 to 44 in New Haven. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
All right, as we head through tonight, mainly clear, warm, and humid. The low only down to 68, so little respite from the heat for us as we head through the overnights, even just the next couple of nights. And a heat advisory remains in effect until Wednesday evening with heat index values the next couple of afternoons and evenings as high as 102. So mainly clear, warm, and humid tonight. The low only down to 68. Then as we go through Tuesday, very hot, mostly sunny. We're going to break the record from way back in 1933 with a high up to 98 on Tuesday. Partly cloudy, warm, and humid Tuesday night. The low down to 71. Then very hot Wednesday, tying the record from 1988 with the high back to 98. Thursday, not nearly as hot, cloudy, but still humid. A couple of showers and a heavy thunderstorm, the high of 82. Friday, rain in the morning, then cloudy. The high only 73. Beautiful day Saturday. Sunny to partly cloudy, pleasant. The high of 80 on Saturday. So it is still very, very hot out with the dew point up in the upper 60s currently. Right now it's 91 in Danbury, 79 with a breeze off the water in New London, though. 89 in Mansfield, 91 in Hartford with the dew point at 69. That puts the heat index at 96. Be careful out there and stay well hydrated. I'm meteorologist Jason Catarina in the WTIC Weather Center.
Looking to retire with confidence? Get the answers you need. Tune in to Wall Street Sweeper with Russ Hackman. Sunday mornings at 9:30 on NewsTalk WTIC AM. Strategies, insights, and smart retirement talk. Don't miss it.
Pro Savings Days are back at Lowe's. Right now, get a 4-piece GE kitchen suite for under $2,000. Plus, get a free DeWalt 20-volt Max XR 8-amp-hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt tool. Save big with deals that work as hard as you do. Shop Pro Savings Days in-store or online today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 8/1. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
Big year. I'm starting middle school.
Welcome to the jungle, Missy.
Best part? My parents promised me a new laptop.
Perfect for homework, essays, and drudgery.
So we went to Staples. They had all the latest tech, and laptops were up to 40% off.
Woo! Another back-to-school budget saved by Staples Easy Button.
Mom high-fived the cashier. So embarrassing.
Staples.
That was easy.
In-store, online, and on the app. In Z23, select models only.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer. We're dedicated to
Yes,
serving
sir.
people 50 and up, like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/fax or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is.
You know who it is.
You know who it is. It's Reese on the Radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
All right, folks, we're almost out of here. We'll take your last phone calls before we do, but a couple of things to get to. Don't forget, go to reeseontheradio.com. That's REESE on the radio.com. One, check out my new article that always comes out on Sunday if I don't write other stuff, but there's always an article on Sunday. You can find it at the Connecticut Sentinel, or you can find it at reasonoradio.com at my Substack. Just scroll down to it. This week's article is titled How the Epstein Coverage is More Than Another Cover-Up. It's a rewrite. And it pretty much breaks down all the things about the Epstein case that many people have forgotten in recent memory. So it's a good read. And if you're interested, always go to reasonoradio.com to find out articles about that. Also, tomorrow, as I mentioned, Jonathan DeBarros, who's running to represent the 5th District, is coming on the show tomorrow at 4 o'clock. We'll talk to him about his campaign, about his recent visit to the White House in Washington, D.C. overall. We'll talk to him about that, talk about his campaign, talks about himself, where he comes from, and what his ideas are, and see if we can get some information on him. Was there something last but not least that I did not get into? I can't think of it at all. I think that, that was it. Yep, that was it. Yes, and plus, of course, tomorrow's show, where we'll talk about the poll numbers with Governor Lamont and the likelihood that he's going to run for re-election, if not win. All right, now your phone calls, 860-522-WTIC. He's been on for a while because I wanted to save him for later. I'm my paisan, Frank in Woodbridge. What's going on, sir?
Yeah, we were talking about this last night in Cincinnati. Tell me what happened. This white couple was in Cincinnati, and a bunch of black people out of nowhere just started beating them up.
Yeah, I don't know what started this fight, but we do know that a lot of people went above and beyond to harm these people to the level of not just knocking them out. But by the way, a man punched the woman out to where people were just sitting there videotaping. It took another woman to actually get involved and see, and get the woman to safety. But what this melee turned out to be, what was so interesting, and I think what most people paid attention to, was the fact that there was literally no coverage of it. It happened on Friday.
Yeah, but Reese, there isn't going to be any coverage. They don't cover black-on-black crime.
Yes, I know.
The only crime they cover is white-on-black. And if you look at the statistics, it doesn't happen that often.
Well, we've noticed that it hasn't happened a lot. I mean, right now we're looking at a drought of reports within that kind of investigation or news report as of late, which, again, is now forcing people to report it because, again, they have been shamed into reporting it. Elon Musk was kind of forced the issue. He posted in Post on X and named every one of the outlets that did zero reporting, including Fox News,
well,
which
last
did
night
nothing
we were
on it.
talking about this. I was with a bunch of young guys come over drinking, gambling on their phone.
Uh-huh.
And I told them, I've been with black people all my life. I've never had a problem. Tell me why. Frank, when was the last time you looked in the mirror? What does that mean? Frank, that ain't going to bother you. You're as big as King Kong. Who's going to bother you?
You don't actually, I don't think that in any way, I think people recognize, I always say that, if you have a reputation that precedes you, you're usually not going to run into a problem like that. You've been around long enough, Frank,
I've been
that no
around
one's
all
going to.
my life. I've
Yeah,
never had a problem.
exactly.
Yeah,
And you're never going to.
No, you got a few bad apples there, but I just always find this amazing when I hear it. First of all, Cincinnati. You got to be careful where you go, no matter who you are. Cincinnati is a very bad neighborhood. Horrible town. Without
a doubt, you're 100% right. Thank you,
that
Frank.
thing is really gone. I mean, that thing is catching up to Chicago in a hurry. Matter of fact, it might be worse.
Yeah, exactly. It's also the home of Bone Thugs and Harmony, which says in and of itself it's a horrible place. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, what a shame that's happened to a beautiful town over there.
Yeah. But what are you going to do? Thank you, boss. I appreciate you. Let's go to, hey, Stevie V. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
I'm all right, sir. What's up?
Good. Yeah, you mentioned the bridge, and that's an excellent point. I also want to tell people they should bring plenty of liquids with them.
Yes.
Be very hydrated. There's going to be so many people, side by side, and it's going to be real hot.
Yeah, I hope it's not a big turnout in a sense of where it's overcrowded and things like that. A bridge is, again, even though I know Mark knows that bridge probably way better than I do. I've been on it before. I don't remember it being Like, I'm afraid of bridges. Let me just be honest. I'm concerned about them. So but again, I'm just one of those things where, again, I'm afraid of heights also. That's probably not helpful. But I see something like that, and imagine if you really get a considerable amount of people up there, up in the heights, you got nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. I'm hoping that, Mark is right. But in my head, I'm going, don't put yourself, because again, the only way to go is down, Stevie. That's it.
Yeah, and you know what? It sounds like a senseless protest anyways. It's not going to do anything.
Indeed. Yeah, I tend to agree. Anyway, but was that all? I'm sure you had something else to add.
That's it.
Okay.
I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You got it. Let's get Paul in Enfield in here. How are you doing, sir?
I'm not bad. A couple quick points. What you and Frank were making reference of, that incident in Cincinnati, each of you are both wrong. It was brought up numerous times on your radio station last night on the Cunningham show. You should listen to that. Obviously, you weren't.
Isn't Bill Cunningham a national? Isn't he a syndicated show?
Yeah, but he's on TIC.
Yeah, no, I understand it, but I said it wasn't covered on.
He brought it up numerous times.
Paul?
He's from Cincinnati.
Paul, it wasn't on Fox. It wasn't on CNN. It wasn't
whatever.
on.
But
what do you mean, whatever? That was the point we made. How can we be wrong about it?
I heard it many times, besides even Cunningham.
So what does that even mean?
I'm a big Trump fan, but I'm very concerned why he's bringing up Epstein himself without being asked about it.
That's not true. That is, well, hold on. Paul, that's not true.
And the fact of the matter is, what he's doing is, he's really running panicky. He's scared.
Paul.
And I'm more, even though I'm a big Trump fan, I'm more scared about Vance being president. I don't want him in the White House.
Didn't you already make this case last
I would
week?
prefer to have either Rand Paul or the Secretary of State in the White House.
Did
you make
this case last week?
What do I mean? Like you, I make the case every day.
Yeah, okay, but I'm just saying. I was like, you made the case about Epstein last week. You made the case about who
but
you
I'm
wanted.
making the case now too about
But
the
why?
fact about this incident. What?
Why are you making the case
all the time? He brings it up all the time.
Who brought it up? Did you watch that press conference? I did.
And look at all the pictures of Trump.
Did you watch the press conference, sir? Yes or no?
Why do you have to be a yeller all the
because
time?
you're not answering the question I asked you. Did you watch
You're acting like a Yahoo. You're acting like a Yahoo.
I love
You're
that
acting
term.
like a
That's my
Yahoo.
favorite term. Did you watch the press conference? Yes or no?
I watch everything.
Okay. So
including
you
that press
know that
conference.
he brought up the Epstein stuff during the press conference or no?
There's more than one incident besides that press conference.
Okay.
Crying out loud.
Okay. Yeah. Yep. He brought up the Epstein thing every time.
Okay. Take care. Goodbye.
Bye, Paul. It was a pleasure, sir. I don't know. To call up and to repeat the same thing, Rand Paul, not going to happen. Marco Rubio, got a shot, not going to happen. It's J.D. Vance it's his presidency to lose. He may decide after talking to his wife, Usha, that they're not going to run, but it's his. Maybe you should get to come to terms with that. But everyone who is anyone knows that J.D. Vance was chosen because he is perfect for the role. He's young enough, he's smart enough, and he's capable enough. Who are you going to put him up against? Anybody on their roster on the Democrat side, J.D. Vance will humiliate. I mean, it was a ridiculous effort for them to put Tim Walz against him. But really, let's be honest. You may not like JD, but just name the guy who's going to take him. I only see one. Speaking of which, a guy I didn't mention before, but he's the only guy I see with a snowball's chance in hell giving J.D. Vance a run. That's this guy from Kentucky, Andy Beshear. Listen to this.
It's a little bit of the advocacy speak, and it was meant for the right reasons. right? It was meant to decrease stigma, but we don't decrease stigma by changing words. We decrease stigma by changing hearts. And when we start changing and sanitizing our language, things have less meaning. And I'll give you an example that's personal to me. In Kentucky, we are hit by the opioid crisis harder than just about any other state. Every Kentuckian, including myself, knows about a dozen people that are no longer with us. A child of God taken far too soon. I didn't lose one of my friends to substance use disorder. I lost them all to addiction. Addiction is mean. It's nasty. It's hard to beat. It kills people. And when you lose somebody, when you talk about losing them to addiction, you feel it. But how about the other side? When someone triumphs over addiction, they've beaten something that is so hard and so deadly, it gives them the triumph that they deserve. And because we've approached it that way in Kentucky, thank God, we saw a 30% decrease in drug overdose deaths last year.
That's your future right there, Democrats. That's your guy. He's talking about God. He's talking about stop sugarcoating language. That's your, and no one's talking about him. Andy Bashir. That's your guy. I'm not going to lie. My wife listened to him today. Was it yesterday? No, yesterday. Listened to him. I played that video for her. She said, I may not agree with him, but I like the way he puts it. He's speaking straight. He's not using these stupid platitudes of the left. And he's quiet. Where have you heard anything about Andy Bashir? You hear more stuff about Chris Murphy than you do about this guy. But this guy sounds like a guy.
Another example. That big, ugly bill is not only going to gut rural health care and hit our rural economies, it's going to decrease food assistance all over this country. You know, we're not going to be able to change and push back on that if we say it's going to increase food insecurity. What it's going to do is make people go hungry. They're going to feel hunger pains at night when they go to bed and hunger pains when they wake up in the morning. And remember, the two groups most at risk for hunger and the two groups covered by Medicaid the most are our parents and our kids. We even have a new term that we're being pushed to use now. It's called justice-involved populations. Y'all know what that is? Those are our inmates. And I'm working on reducing recidivism as much as any governor in the nation. The Bible teaches me that second chance aren't just the right thing to do, they're what we're called to do. We're teaching a trade in every single Kentucky prison and trying to help people get good jobs as they leave. But you know what our inmates call themselves? Inmates. And so we've got to make sure that the ways that we're communicating as public officials and as folks that are running are the same ways you talk to your friends or your family, that our words have meaning and emotion behind them.
Tell me, I don't care what anybody says. Tell me that the guy doesn't have it on the Democrat side. He doesn't even sound like a Democrat. He doesn't even sound like a Democrat, but he is one. And why? Because he refuses to buy. The guy is talking about God. That's unheard of in the Democrat Party. Just got to ask yourself, what's what? Check him out. He could be a threat, folks. Or an ally. Just saying. That's our show. As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your minds. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the Radio. You have a good night. Pleasant tomorrow. We'll see you back here. What is it, 21 hours? Yeah, I guess that. I love you. Be good to each other. Jason Caterina's got weather, and Mark Christopher, he's in the BPS Traffic Center. Good night, Mark. See you mañana.
Have a good night, Reese. If you're heading into Hartford right now, 84 eastbound, some slow traffic, 48 Capitol Ave.
All right, good sir.
All righty then. I will see you mañana.
The right lane.
See you tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, and check those numbers out. If you need any guidance, I'll let you know.
I looked at them. I don't know what I'm looking at, so.
All right, I'll break it down for
Park
you.
Road State.
All right.
All right, bye.
Southbound 91 moving well. Northbound 91's a little slow between 38 and 3941 on the Windsor.
All right, everybody. Yes, the DNC will probably crush him. You're right. You're so right about that, Michael A. That's, again, he doesn't sound like them, but he could be their last hope. He could be. But you can't tell me you can't listen to Andy Bashir and say to yourself, God, would he be good? He would be good. By the way, I want to see if you guys notice any changes in the show today. We'll see if you figure it out. All right? I love you guys. Be good to each other. We'll see you mañana.